Oh, hey, everybody, we're back. Oh, you guys missed a great meeting.
All meetings are great meetings.
Yeah. Our meetings are. They're grand.
Fat lady! Fat bitch! Valkyrie!
It's the
Oh, yes, once again, it is time to get the show underway. There's your bat signal. Go ahead, retweet the tweet, boost the toot. Episode 1285 of this podcast. Test
Adam
1, 2,
Curry,
3.
John C. Dvorak.
Test a little loud. 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. A little bit softer now.
This is no...
Okay.
Softer now.
What?
A little bit softer now. A little bit softer now.
A little bit louder now. Shut. Shut. Hello, trolls. No, I'm going to pee real quick. Be right back.
Do it there.
Oh, but
Just have a jar. Keep a jar handy.
Yowza. Okay, Heinrich. Are we ready, Heinrich?
Yeah.
Okay, Hans and Heinrich on
Eat it.
Hans and Heinrich on the podcast.
Hit it.
Adam Curry, John C. Dvorak.
It's Sunday, October 11th, 2020. This is your award-winning Gibbo Nation Media Assassination episode 1285.
This is No Agenda.
Celebrating 25 for 46 and broadcasting live from Opportunity Zone 33 here in the frontier of Austin, Texas, capital of the Drone Star State. In the morning, everybody, I'm Adam Curry.
And from northern Silicon Valley, where I have to say it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Can I be your neighbor? I'm John C. Dvorak.
It's Crackpot and Buzzkill in the morning.
You can always be my neighbor, John C. Dvorak. Always. Hey, Austin is open. Like real.
Austin's
Yeah,
open.
yeah. They.
I thought they were already open.
Now they still had the restrictions on the bars, and now that Dirty Bill's is open, if anyone's been to Austin, you've been to Dirty Bill's. You know if that's open, then it's open. Dirty Bill's is about the size of a 1,000 square foot apartment where they put 100 people in. Not that we went there. The keeper and I went to dinner on Friday night. Could not believe what we saw. Everything was alive. It was great.
It was jumping.
And it felt hopping. I think I said it's hopping, and it felt good. It just
Jay went.
Ruh-roh. Oh, we're gonna go through that already, huh? Hold on. Hold on, John. You cut out Jay. You started with Jay. Oh. And now he's completely gone. And his head is gone. Let me make sure that's not me. That might have been his internet. Yeah?
That should resolve things.
What was that? Was it an internet problem?
It's a long story.
Okay, hold on. So just pick it up with Jay.
Well, Jay went to San Francisco, and she says it was hopping in the Mission District. Valencia Street was crowded. They were dancing in the streets. There was no parking. Everyone was in the city partying.
Nice.
Which is weird because they shut San Francisco down before they shut any place down.
I don't understand how
out or what.
That can't be allowed.
I don't know.
Huh. Yeah, it was a good feeling, and because we started going out May when the first 50% restaurants were allowed, and it was just so dreary and depressing. And I mean, because we'll go downtown to eat, and parking was great for months. That sucks.
Oh yeah. Well, I liked the very beginning of this whole thing where there was nobody on the road.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, the former New York banker and wife came over last night for drinks. I have a report.
Okay, well, we're interested.
Yes, a couple of things. I'll just, some gossip. But first, I must say he is 100% convinced Biden will run. Will win. I'm sorry. He will win. Which we have a bet on, of course.
Of course.
Yeah. And Trump was obviously very stupid to blow off the next debate, which I didn't quite understand why.
Look, he's obviously in for Biden.
Yeah. Well, no.
I can see a million reasons why Trump wouldn't want to do it.
Me too. LaGuardia Airport. He gave me the lowdown on that. You remember that the LaGuardia Airport has basically been reconstructed during the lockdown?
From scratch.
And so he said, because of course he listens to the show, he says, "Oh, LaGuardia, let me tell you, that build has been going on for 8 years, but they were able to just complete it really quickly during the lockdown, which makes sense. But who's financing it?" And I said, "Oh, tell me it's China." He says, "No, it's two people. You won't believe these two institutions. You want to take a guess?" I didn't guess
No.
it. The first one is the Teachers Union and the Clinton Global Initiative.
Wow.
Yeah, the Teachers Union is building the airport along with the Clinton Global Initiative. I think they're defunct now.
I thought they were too.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that I thought turn out to be different in today's show. On the woke front, he gave me a fun story. When it comes to spin studios, as you know, I'm a spinner. Probably the most famous one in the United States is Soul Cycle. I think they're actually international, though. They may be in London, Amsterdam, Paris. They had a competitor, Flywheel, which was also quite big. And one of their major investors in the Flywheel franchise is John Wayne's daughter. For big John Wayne, the actor John Wayne's daughter. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yes.
How old is she? Must be pretty old.
She's my age. However, when all the wokeness started, you recall there was a story about John Wayne being super racist in 1972.
Oh yeah.
So
statue must come down.
So because of that, the employees forced her to pull out of the company, and now they filed for bankruptcy.
So why is racism genetic?
Yes, it carries on. You didn't know that?
Oh,
yeah.
No, it's genetic.
It's completely genetic. You are responsible for the crime. Well, of course, it's dirty money. You see, she inherited that money. It's dirty. It's dirty. It's from a dirty racist. John Wayne, dirty racist.
I thought he made the money from acting, not from being a racist.
And now the company filed for bankruptcy.
Oh, the wokers brought the company down.
Way to go, noodle boys and girls. Well done.
Well, let's look into a couple of factors here.
Okay.
Were these people working for her company?
They were working for the company.
What were they doing there?
Instructors.
Why would you hire people like this for your company? Hello?
Yeah. Well, that's the lesson that's got to be learned.
It needs to be learned. I have a clip.
Ooh, hold on. What do you have?
This is the guy who goes ballistic on some poor customer who walks into a Georgia head shop. It's actually selling a CBD shop.
Uh-huh.
And the clerk doesn't like the fact that this guy's wearing a Trump T-shirt. So he tells him to get out. Then they have kind of what comes almost close to blows, but not quite. And you get where the guy filmed the whole thing. So you have this this situation that occurred. And I'm looking for the clip.
Oh, I have it. Trump supporter kicked out. Got it.
And so the guy goes ballistic. He turned, and now, luckily, it's a small company. So the end result of this story is that the kid, who was obviously a millennial hipster type, he had the beard, the whole thing, who went nuts, he got fired.
Here we are in Exhale Vapor City in Tucker, Georgia, and I've just been asked to leave the store. He greeted me. That was nice. I did find the item that I wanted, and the next thing he said was that he'd like me to leave.
If you do not stop recording in my store, I'm going to call the police and ask you to leave now.
Please call that would be awesome. That'd be awesome. We can call Fox 5 and all sorts of stuff. I would like to purchase something here. Please do call your boss, because I will be calling corporate.
Go for it.
I am looking forward to releasing this video. because I just want to purchase something.
Fuck off, dude! Fuck off! Get the fuck off of here, man! Fuck, man! Fucking say you racist motherfuckers!
Racist?
Yeah!
Sir,
Right?
I'm not a racist. Hey, God bless you. Hey, check it out. He's still your president.
Noodle power.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So,
These people should not be working in your company.
have you been following the Coinbase story?
No, I know it, but
Yeah.
I have not been following it.
Yeah. So the Coinbase is they started as a company that would basically convert dollars to Bitcoin, and now I think they've filed. They may have even received. They can be a bank now, so that's a real financial institution with billions and billions of dollars. And he said, there was all kinds of stuff within the company, like, we have to show we're woke, we have to show we're not racist. And the CEO said, no, we're not going to do that. All that crap we're going to get rid of it. And if you don't like it, then here's a package and you can leave. And there's about 60 people now considering taking the package and leaving. And that's the way you do it, in my opinion.
Well, you can do that on a small scale, but the big companies, when they get they think they sense that they have the power. They're not taking any package. They want the company.
Yeah, I don't think...
You heard Noodle Boy. You know what he says.
The noodle power. It's awesome. The awesome power of the noodle. A final bit of gossip from the West Side, the Terrytown, the Beverly Hills of Austin. Remember, we're in Opportunity Zone 33 on the East Side. Apparently, everybody is moving to Austin and building $10, $15, $20 million homes. And here's the best story.
Why?
This is the gossip. Well, I don't know. Austin is cool now.
Yeah, it is. It is very cool.
Kendra Scott, who is very famous, he has a jewelry line. I think she actually is from Austin. And her husband is also very successful. And they were building in the west side of the Beverly Hills of Austin, building a house. I think it was $20 million to build this house. And one of the real estate agents to the stars, which of course is how this gossip gets out, how they are.
Oh yeah, they gossip on purpose.
Yep, said, I have someone who was buying the lot next to you, or I don't know if it's a home on it or not, but would really like to buy your home as well. Name your price. And apparently the Scotts said, we just built this. Okay, $75 million. And the real estate agent said, okay, I think that'll happen. Now, there's only one person who that could be who's coming to Austin to do that.
Jeff Bezos.
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk is going to Austin?
This would confirm it as far as I'm concerned. If this is him, we don't know for sure. But who else, buys a $20 million home for $75 million just to have the lot next to it, to his?
Yeah. But my opinion is nobody. That's a great story. That'll get you to buy up every lot in town.
That was my thinking right away, too.
Yeah. Good move, real estate scammers.
Yeah. Okay. There was no...
Unless you hear the follow-up story where somebody actually receives a check for $75 million.
I'll let you know if it happens. I'll let you know. I will let you know. So the couple of big stories, and I saw your clips. I presume you have stuff on the Trump declassification stuff.
I have one. Yeah, I do. I have one. The story that you kept bitching about, the original story.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to do some COVID first because COVID brings in the money.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. If you're in healthcare, COVID brings in the money. So let's go.
I do want to play because I thought it was interesting to listen to this. The PBS NewsHour is just getting worse by the minute, which is great for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that they're trying to outdo Amy Goodman on this report. This is the COVID move over Amy rundown of all the COVID crap everywhere.
Across the U.S., new cases of COVID-19 continue to rise, according to the New York Times. Cases are nearing record highs in the upper Midwest and Rocky Mountain.
This operation has millions of dollars of budget.
Why does it sound like shit?
Well, yes, it sounds like shit, but why is the story according to the New York Times?
Well, because that's the control central. That's where it all comes from. Hello?
So they can't send their own reporters out and do the original reporting, despite the millions of dollars that people give them, and all the underwriters and institutions that give them tons of money.
Yeah.
They're doing a clip and read. This is the old thing the radio stations used to be accused of.
Well, that's what we do.
Every radio station in the country was a clip and read. You go, the news department consisted of somebody with a pair of scissors and the New York Times.
Yeah.
And they'd clip the articles and then put them in front of the newsreader. Yeah. And he'd just read from the New York Times.
Yeah, it's kind of what we do.
Well, we hardly do that. It's funny you'd say that, but we don't. And the New York Times we don't read from, believe me.
No. All right, let's start the clip over and listen to this.
But I'm just saying,
reporting.
why is this guy with $1 million budgets reading from the New York Times in the clip and read? It just makes no sense to me, but okay, let's let it rip.
Across the U.S., new cases of COVID-19 continue to rise, according to the New York Times. Cases are nearing record highs in the upper Midwest and Rocky Mountain states. The Times database shows an average of 47,759 cases per day last week. That's a 12% increase in cases from 2 weeks ago, but still well below the peak average rate of more than 66,000 per day in late July. As of this morning, the Times reports that since the new coronavirus reached the U.S. last winter, it has infected nearly 7.7 million people in the United States and killed at least 213,500. Deaths are now averaging around 700 per day this month, below record levels, but far more than were reported in early July. Globally, there are now more than 36 million confirmed COVID-19 cases and more than 1 million people have died, according to Johns Hopkins University. In Iran today, residents of Tehran were ordered to wear face masks when they are in public spaces, both indoors and outdoors. Iran has the highest rate of infections and deaths from COVID-19 in the Middle East. This week, the country had a record 239 deaths. In Russia, temporary hospitals built to treat coronavirus patients reopened in Moscow yesterday after a record number of new infections. Russia recorded more than 12,000 new cases, the highest daily increase since the start of the pandemic.
This is not even a bad. It's a shitty podcast. The guy's dead.
About the sound.
Well, the whole thing, the read, everything is annoying.
Yeah.
Cases. Yeah. Let me just jump into that for a second. We have we've got some data for you. I'll just read it off, just like PBS does. Every year, there are 56.9 million deaths worldwide. 1.064 million COVID deaths from all of this year. Now, we got a couple more months to go. So at the current rate of growth would be 1.5 million for 2020. That makes it 2.6% of all deaths in 2020. Just something to think about how horrible this is. And in Portland, Oregon, right on cue, 80,000 COVID tests just arrived in Portland, and you know what's going to happen. We're going to have a surge in Portland. I'm predicting it.
Because a bunch of outdated tests.
I'm predicting a surge. It's coming. And from the same Portland, in the show notes, worth taking a look at. Actually, it's from Oregon Health and Oregon Health. What's it called? Oregon Health Authority. They now have a new promotion. Rain and face coverings. Keep your mask dry by wearing a rain jacket with a hood, carrying an umbrella, or having other means to shield your face covering from rain. Letting your face covering get wet may decrease its effectiveness and make it difficult to breathe. You're outside in the rain with your mask on. Come on. Come on.
Yeah.
That's just not okay. And then I have final statistics.
Keep reading.
Final statistics, and this is all our producers' work and links and everything. This is CDC. A lot of our producers are spreadsheet junkies. They love numbers. They love doing charts and understanding.
Absolutely.
Let us take a look at total U.S. deaths, or as Dr. Tedros would say, DES, over the past 4 years. Total deaths past 4 years. United States. All causes. 2017, 2,814,000. 2018, 2,839,000. 2019, 2,855,000. And extrapolating out to fill in October, November, December, 2020. Remember, 2019 was 2.855 million. For 2020, it'll be 2.838 million. It's completely consistent with the past 4 years. Completely.
No change?
No change. In fact, down a little bit from 2019 and 2018.
Well, if you lock everybody up in their homes, it will go down. Less traffic accidents.
Hold on a second. Yes. Well, this is interesting. We have the WHO now coming out and telling us that, whoa, hold on a second. We never told you to do that. Here is Dr. David Nabarro from the WHO.
But we had Professor Sunetra...
Well, this is Neil Andrew, whatever, interviewing him.
Gupta from Oxford University on. And she was implying, and I'm interested in you because you have a global mandate, a global view, was that a problem we don't think about in lockdowns is that they're very nationalistic. That if we lock down our economy, then it hits our economy. But it also means we are not buying stuff, we're not trading with weaker economies, we are not just destroying our own jobs, we're destroying the jobs of all those that in the poorer parts of the world that export to us. That seemed to me to be a reasonable point.
Really important point by Professor Gupta. I want to say it again. We in the World Health Organization do not advocate lockdowns as a primary means of control of this virus. The only time we believe a lockdown is justified is to buy you time to reorganize, regroup, rebalance your resources, protect your health workers who are exhausted. But by and large, we'd rather not do it. Just look at what's happened to the tourism industry, for example, in the Caribbean or in the Pacific, because people aren't taking their holidays. Look what's happened to smallholder farmers all over the world because their markets have got dented. Look what's happening to poverty levels. It seems that we may well have a doubling of world poverty by next year. We may well have at least a doubling of child malnutrition because children are not getting meals at school and their parents in poor families are not able to afford it. This is a terrible, ghastly global catastrophe, actually. And so we really do appeal to all world leaders. Stop using lockdown as your primary control method. Develop better systems for doing it. Work together and learn from each other. But remember, lockdowns just have one consequence that you must never, ever belittle, and that is making poor people an awful lot poorer.
Exactly. Well done.
What is this? What is he saying this now for?
I don't know. Afraid of karma?
Yeah, afraid of backlash. That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
Now they looked at, they still have Sweden to deal with, who never locked down.
Yeah. There's a documentary out about how Sweden did. Actually, there's a lot of interesting documentaries coming out now.
Oh yeah, well we predicted this. We said early on that there's going to be a bunch of scandalous information that's going to show up at the end, and now you have this guy covering his ass.
Oh yeah,
give me a break.
Now in the UK, the National Health System, they have the app. I guess the app was initially sold to everyone as this is your contact tracing, and if you've come within a certain amount of or certain area of someone who may have had it, and then you'll get an alert on your phone. But it turns out they're using it a little bit differently. Now you can go to the NHS website and you can create a little widget there. You can create a QR code, which you then put on the front door of your establishment. And in order to come in, people will hold up their phone, scan the QR code, and then the app will go red or green depending on your status.
Yeah, well, this is 1984.
It's just the beginning, is what it. You want to hear some 1984?
Well, first I want to get a couple of things out of it. I want to get my Hari Srinivasan clips finished from PBS.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, go for it.
So I have a. Let's see if I get the original one here.
Are we still on COVID? Because I'm still on COVID.
Yeah, this is COVID.
Okay.
This is the Srinivasan thing. Now, this is I got 2, 3. This is 2 deconstruct, 3 deconstruct. Why don't you read some, because I got to find a foundation clip here. I thought I had it.
Okay, you look for the foundation clip. We got a note from one of our producers, Chrissy, actually. He says, Adam and John picked up a temporary job as an Amazon delivery driver and wanted to share some of the dystopian crap they're doing when I took a brief tour of the local warehouse. Cameras everywhere, with several monitors showing the camera feed. On the monitor, there are illustrations of a 6-foot green circle around your feet. So you're looking at the monitor, you see yourself, and there in the video, you see a green circle. And as you move, the circle moves with you. But if your circle crosses into the territory of someone else's circle, the circles turn red, the buzzer goes off, and prompting people to grab megaphones and shout, 6 feet, 6 feet!
Oh, brother.
I am told, she says, the video gets sent to higher up management when this happens. Yes, all that's missing is the often referenced net that should drop from the ceiling. There are a ton of people who seem like they have no other job but to line aisles with little handheld signs with messages about social distancing. And she said the break room is exactly the same. You're sitting there, you've got a 6-foot square around your little table. If you come within someone else's square and the buzzers go off again.
Well, I like the idea. Hey, tell her to get a recording of the buzzers.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know if she's...
We need recordings. Okay, I got my stuff here.
We do need recordings. Thanks,
so I want you to, this is a clip on the Trump and Biden, and if this would happen, this is right at the beginning of the show, Saturday. This is a Saturday show. It's just recent. And I want you to listen carefully because there's some interesting flawed aspects to it. This is a PBS NewsHour report on Trump and Biden.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. President Trump held his first in-person event since returning to the White House from Walter Reed National Military Medical Center, even though it's unclear if he is still contagious with COVID-19. He revealed his first positive test less than 9 days ago. The president spoke to a crowd of invited guests from a White House balcony overlooking the South Lawn.
Well, I'm feeling great. I don't know about you. How's everyone feeling?
Much of the speech addressed campaign issues, and it featured multiple attacks on his Democratic opponent, former Vice President Joe Biden. But White House spokesperson Judd Deere told reporters the speech was an official event, and the campaign was not involved. In a pre-taped interview that aired on Fox News last night, the president said he was medication-free as of the previous 8 hours. He said he was retested for COVID-19, but claimed he did not know the results.
I have been retested, and I haven't even found out numbers or anything yet, but I've been retested, and I know I'm at either the bottom of the scale or free.
In his speech today, the president did not mention his COVID-19 test results. His doctor has not answered questions since last Monday, and no one has released information on when the president last tested negative for the virus. Mr. Trump has already announced he will travel to Florida on Monday for a campaign rally. On his way to a campaign event in Pennsylvania late this afternoon, Vice President Biden said he tested negative for the coronavirus today.
Before I came out again today to go somewhere, I had another test this morning, and I'm clear. I think it's important the president makes sure two things. One, that he is clear. He is not a spreader like Dr. Fauci said, the super spreader event he had for the Supreme Court announcement. Secondly, I think it's important that he make it clear to all the people that they should be socially distanced. They should be on the lawn, that's fine. But in fact, they should be socially distanced and wearing masks.
Oh, brother.
Okay, so you have, there's a very biased report, as you can tell by the slant of the whole thing. But they like to slip it. They don't let up on any of this stuff. I want you to just listen to this. We've got some sub clips here. They're very short. I want you to listen to this. I want you to listen to the keywords here. Hari on Biden deconstruct.
President Biden said he tested negative for the coronavirus today.
Okay, now we see what the operative words. President Biden said he da-da-da.
Yeah, tested.
Now here's the way when he refers to Trump, listen to the way that Trump is.
Oh, I love this, John.
Claimed he did not know the results.
Hold on, let me do first Biden.
President Biden said he tested negative for the coronavirus today. Claimed he did not know the results.
Okay.
Biden said, but Trump claimed. This is a major, major, major issue with me.
I know, and you're right. That is huge. That's bad reporting.
How come Biden didn't claim? We don't know because they didn't go into any details about Biden. Biden, you might as well say Biden claimed that he's free.
Right.
But no, it was Biden said, and then when it came to Trump claimed as if he's a liar.
Yeah.
The only reason you use the word claimed is to infer to the listener that he's a liar. He claimed to be. He claimed. No, it should have been Trump said he didn't know the results. It was about the results. Yeah. Trump said he didn't know the results. You don't use claimed in these reports unless
you're
extremely biased.
If you hate the orange man, then you say that, of course. Hello.
Now, there's also this other thing, which is the main pet peeve here when it comes to this report.
Right.
And it's showing nothing but bias. But if you just listen to this little segment here where they go on, they don't do this with Biden, but they do this. This is the Trump 2 deconstruct.
In his speech today, the president did not mention his COVID-19 test results. His doctor has not answered questions since last Monday, and no one has released information on when the president last tested negative for the virus.
Where's all this about Biden? You talked to Biden's doctor?
He's not the president.
I'm talking about Biden, the fact that he's got the Parkinson shuffle. Does anyone bring that up in the conversation?
Bro, I listened to another clip of Joe from February, man. Something happened. It was just a couple of months, but he's so different. Now, I'll play it for you later. I want to stick with COVID.
Okay.
Anyway, that's where the money is.
I just found this just a little, people should be on the lookout for these kinds of hot words. And you can see the bias, and it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable.
Yeah. Okay. We have, first of all, I just want to make mention, CDC has come out with a report and says, we still have a problem with transmission. The main culprit now seems to be white men who still are not washing their hands properly after they go to the bathroom. Only white men. Yeah, white men, yes. Still aren't washing their hands. I don't know what sample they took or where they tested this.
They got a camera in the bathrooms and they show the white guys not washing their hands?
Just the white guys. Only the white guys. Let's see. Scandals to look out for in the news. The Regeneron that the president was given was developed using cells derived from an aborted fetal tissue from the 1970s. It coincidentally came from the Netherlands.
Are they pickling these things? What's going on here?
So, of course, obviously, this does not jive with the religious right, so we need to hike that up. Be on the lookout for that. Then we have... Oh, yeah. It was kind of funny. Bloomberg had a report about this guy who's, I think he's known he's like a bio body hacker, and he made a vaccine for COVID-19 from coronavirus from, I think, a chimpanzee, did it at his house, and it appears to work. But the way it's reported in Bloomberg is, wow, it seemed to really work well, but, then somehow this guy is saying, yeah, but, it's obvious that you really need a huge test to really know if it works well. You really need like 30,000. So my vaccine really, So they shut him down. And told him to say no. But apparently the link in the show notes. Interesting. Apparently the
30,000 is the magic number, except when it comes to polls.
Right. And vaccines. Staying with that. Anderson Pooper over at CNN had Bill Gates on. Truth always wants to come out.
You've talked about some of the sophisticated tools, the therapeutics that are coming, and that some are here. Can you just talk a little bit? I mean, let's talk about Regeneron. You've been optimistic about it. It got obviously a big endorsement from President Trump because he was able to receive it. He's calling it a cure. He's calling on regulators to give it emergency use authorization. Do you support the idea of the emergency use authorization? And I assume it's not a cure.
No, the word cure is a bit of an overpromise. That makes it sound, it looks like works for everyone, and the whole concern about this disease should go away. And that's the last thing we want people to think about.
We don't want to think of this disease going away. That's the last thing we want people thinking about.
Wow.
The absolute last thing we want people.
That's actually I'm going to give you a borderline clip of the day. That's an excellent catch.
Clip of the day.
One more time.
Air inside.
Oops, here we go.
And the whole concern about this disease should go away. And that's the last thing we want people to think about.
Yeah, it's the last thing.
Don't want you
the last thing. And I got
at least until after the election.
Oh, no, then you can think about it, sure.
Yeah.
Got a clip from one of our producers who said, this is total bull crap. Listen to this. I think it was from NBC. I, as an airman and a pilot, and have an understanding of pressurization systems and airflow in aircraft, I actually agree with it, which you're about to hear. And it, of course, flies in the face of the entire reasoning behind 6 feet separation.
Air inside a plane flows from top to bottom. Pulled down by gravity, researchers say the air washes out airborne particles, including viruses, then runs through HEPA filters similar to those used in operating rooms, removing more than 99% of particles. The air is cycled every 2 to 3 minutes with fresh outside air, much faster than an operating room. Researchers say that airflow creates the equivalent of 7 feet of separation, even between passengers sitting shoulder to shoulder.
The risk of onboard transmission appears to be low.
The challenge, convincing passengers when just 30% believe it's safe to fly.
Yeah, no, you're never going to convince people that it's safe to fly, but I believe it is safe to fly. I've flown, the keeper has flown with me.
Yeah, I think so too.
Not a problem.
So too.
But the whole 6 feet, he says 7 feet here. But if you recall, one of the reasons that we came up with 6 feet is because of a study that showed that the person who had COVID on an aircraft, they looked at how many people around that person apparently were infected, and they determined that, 6 feet is what it has to be. And this flies in the face of it. And I believe this to be true. I mean, these are very good systems. People are always complaining about, it's recycled air. No.
Well, they do recycle the air.
They don't recycle the air. They cycle.
Not all fresh air coming in from the outside.
Yes. The pressurization system provides continuous fresh air into the aircraft. You know the cone?
I was told by a stewardess years ago.
Oh, yeah. Did you ask her to fly?
She says that they like to. There is an amount of air that comes in from the outside, but it's not all from the outside. Well, okay. I'm wrong, I guess.
No,
so all the air comes from the outside. I never.
Yes,
which is hard to do when you're up at 40,000 feet.
Well, how do you think they pressurize?
Well, okay, they pressurize it when it comes in.
But how do they?
So all the air in the airplane is fresh. So what's the point of the HEPA filter?
I'm asking you a question. The HEPA filter is for what comes from the outside air. You want to make sure whatever's outside that comes in is clean. How do you know how pressurization works?
Yeah, there's to keep the plane.
But do you know how it's performed? The mechanics of pressure. No, I don't think people understand this. You know that cone.
Well, explain it.
You know the cone on the back of the plane, on the tail. It has There's always a little opening there. That's part of your pressurization system. The air comes in from the front, and they close that. Not all the way, but that's how they keep air flowing into the cabin. It pressurizes because literally the rear of the aircraft is closing down, still lets some out. So the air is, in fact, flowing through. That's why you lose pressure. It's not like someone kicked the cable off of some canister of oxygen. No, it's because something happened with the mechanics of the rear of the plane. So it is continuously fresh air filtered from the outside, and it's nonstop.
So the air comes in from the outside, goes through the HEPA filter, goes through the cab, and then gets blown out again.
Yeah.
Through the back.
Yeah, well, most of it is blown out through the back for the pressurization, but they have a bleed air that comes into the cabin.
Now, on the back of that back spot of a 747 is a jet engine.
No.
Yeah?
No, not on the cone, not on the tail cone.
The tail of the 747 is a small jet engine.
Let me take a look. I think you can probably see that's the tail cone. It's not a small jet engine. The engines are on the wings.
No, I know the engines are on the wings, but there's a small jet engine on the back of one of these jets, and I thought it was a 747.
No.
Okay. Well,
you know what? Here's the good news. We have so many professional pilots listening.
We have tons.
They're going to set me and you both straight. But there's a lot of pilots flying, and they love the flying. Oh, that was another great story. Oh my God, I forgot this one from the banker. So the thing during all the rich people during the lockdown would fly private to go to Wyoming or Utah or whatever their second home was, because, God forbid we have to walk around with the plebs and get sick from them. And this one family who was extremely wealthy, their pilot got the whole family sick. I love that story. Oops. Okay.
All right.
Now, I think I can lead into your clip with what I thought was just a fascinating. The Money Honey was on fire this weekend. I don't know if you saw Maria Bartiromo's.
Well, she's all hopped up on something because, and I do have the clips that she did.
Oh, you have all of them?
She's all jacked up because she's like us, caught this right at the beginning and never let up, and that's why she's so happy.
So,
the big scandal.
Yeah, why don't I... Hold on.
By the way, the big scandal that nobody's covering.
So, I have 3 clips. I don't know if are we duplicating clips here?
These clips are from Wednesday, just before our last show.
Oh, no. This is from Saturday.
Well, let's do the earlier clips first.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so you made a big fuss on the other show, and I thought rightfully so, that not only did nobody talk... We're talking about... Let's just do a background here. We're going to discuss the release of classified information, including handwritten notes by John Brennan, setting Trump up
with
this Russian
Hillary
collusion.
Clinton. Hillary Clinton setting him up.
And then behind it all,
yeah,
apparently was Hillary Clinton. And Obama knew about it. Biden knew about it. The whole thing was a scam. And all the documents being released are indicating this. And on last Thursday's show, you made a fuss about the fact that as this rolled out, nobody said jack about it because it is a major scandal.
Not even Tucker Carlson all week.
Not even Tucker. And then you said, and not even Fox.
Yep.
So I dug up. Fox actually did cover it. Maria on Fox Business,
which nobody watches.
They covered it, and it was pretty complete. And I have to say, and she's very proud of the fact that she was on it from the beginning. But again, as you just said, nobody watches it. But let's listen to this is the big scandal actually reported on FBN, Fox Business News.
Welcome back. New bombshell documents. President Trump has ordered the declassification of all records related to the biggest political scandal in our history. The entrapment of one political campaign instigated by another with the help of the U.S. intelligence agencies, something I've been reporting on and breaking news on since day one. The Director of National Intelligence, John Ratcliffe, also released these new documents, including former CIA Director John Brennan's handwritten notes for a meeting with former President Obama, revealing that Hillary Clinton approved a plan to, quote, vilify Donald Trump by stirring up scandal, claiming interference by the Russian security service. It's just, you can't write this stuff. It's unbelievable. Joining me right now is former South Carolina Congressman and Fox News contributor Trey Gowdy, who was the chairman of the Oversight Committee while this was all going down. Trey, it's great to see you this morning. Thanks very much for being here.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
It's pretty extraordinary. What's your reaction to these declassified notes that show that it was actually Hillary Clinton's plan to tie Trump to Russia after all of those years when you tried to get documents from the FBI as a sitting chairman of a major intelligence committee, the Oversight Committee, and you kept hitting brick walls?
Well, I have 2 reactions. Number one, the D.C. media loves leaks, Maria. I mean, they're hopelessly infatuated with leaks. But when John Ratcliffe does it the right way, actually goes through the process of declassifying information so you and I can read it, he's vilified. So that's my first reaction, the duplicity of the D.C. media. My second reaction is Devin wound up being right. I mean, think all the way back to when the House Intel Committee had to go to court to fight Adam Schiff and the Democrats to find out who funded the dossier. So it was the DNC buying Russian dirt to embarrass President Trump and divert away from her email arrangement. That wound up being exactly what happened. We spent 4 years investigating Russian collusion with the Trump campaign and got a big fat zero. And they never bothered to take seriously the intelligence that maybe Clinton was using Russian dirt to try to hurt Trump. They never even took it seriously.
To be fair, whenever I see Trey Gowdy on, I kind of zone out. The guy is boring. I don't think he tells it. I don't think he tells it well. No, I don't.
Maybe.
That's my personal
thing is, here's my problem with Trey Gowdy. First of all, where was he when this was going on? Oh, well, we sent out a couple of subpoenas and they never answered, and so we didn't do anything about it. You didn't do any indictments. You didn't push. He's the guy who brought Hillary before that committee, if you remember, to grill her about something or other, and he didn't do jack.
No.
I mean, he's a showboater, and he makes it sound as though he's really, I mean, he could just as well be a Democrat.
And as a hair person, it's unnecessary what he's doing. It's unnecessary.
I don't know what it would. I mean, his hair.
It's trying to be it's a look. It's his symbol. That's his thing. It's his his
who
image.
else has a haircut like that? The ex-CEO of Mevio. It does.
Yeah, except he dyes it black, and Trey Gowdy
dyes it blonde.
Dyes it blonde. Yes.
All right, let's go into part 2.
Well, they never even took it seriously, but also some of your former colleagues are telling me that they've never seen this. So, you could take it seriously if you see it, but these documents are completely new, according to Devin Nunes. Devin came on the show last Sunday, and the congressman who is the ranking member of the Intel Committee said that this was the first time he had seen this, as well as speaking about it, getting a briefing from the DNI, John Ratcliffe. So does this mean that the FBI just sat on this and pretty much hid it so that the people investigating what the predicate was for an investigation into Trump would never know that Hillary actually decided to tie him to Russian collusion?
Don't say it so.
Yes, that's what that means. When the chairman, he wasn't the ranking member at the time. He was the chairman. He's a member of the Gang of Eight. He's the head of the oversight committee for the intelligence community. So if Devin Nunes hasn't seen it before, and I certainly never saw it before, and Paul Ryan and Kevin McCarthy and Ratcliffe, when he was a congressman, never saw it before. It's not just the FBI. It's also the CIA. The CIA had access to this information even more so than the Bureau. So if it's been 4 years and countless requests, and they were put in place by Donald Trump, it does make you wonder why it's taken us so long to access what I think everyone would consider to be a relevant piece of information.
Yeah, I'd say this, as my sources have told me, that Gina Haspel is stopping this declassification so that she can keep these documents under lid. I mean, Gina Haspel was running the CIA in London during the time of this entrapment. Why is she pushing for Ratcliffe to not declassify anything more? Is it just because she's embarrassed that the CIA will look like it was complicit while John Brennan was all over TV in the last 3 years saying that President Trump had committed treason, even though he knew of the same intelligence that he got, that he saw that it was Hillary Clinton's idea?
Gina Haspel, we almost forgot about her. She's been real quiet. Gina's been real quiet. And
well, we got to remember that Gina Haspel is
protege of Brennan. Brennan protege.
She's a protege of Brennan. Could be a Muslim for all I know.
And you know what's really upsetting? I was looking to see how tall Maria Bartiromo is. I think I just like her, the money, honey. She's only 5'5", but here's the shocker. She is only 53. Dude, she's 3 years younger than me. I thought she was, to be honest, I thought she was over 60. It's a shocker. No, just an aside. Okay. Disappointing.
I don't know if you're right. That's so shocking. Okay, well, let's go to part 3, and then we'll take your clips.
Well, one thing I learned the 8 years I was there is the agencies are primarily concerned with protecting their own reputations. That's their number one goal when they wake up in the morning, whether that's the Bureau, whether it's the CIA. I will tell you this, though, Marie. I mean, President can bring... Gina Haspel was picked by him. So So the president can bring Gina Haspel and Johnny Radcliffe and Bill Barr into his office this afternoon and say, okay, you don't think it should be declassified. You do. Give me both your arguments and I'm going to decide right now. I mean, he gets to decide what's classified and what's not. He can declassify anything he wants. And if you have a cabinet level or almost cabinet level official that is bucking declassification, make her come to your office and explain why.
Yeah. So this is where it gets interesting, because there is without a doubt enough to start indictments, I think. And Bill Barr is just not going to do it before the election. Bill Barr has always been compromised. He has weird connections. He was a part of the whole 9/11, I would say, obfuscation, if not cover up, along with what's his face, who was the FBI director,
Mueller. Was it Mueller?
Yeah, Mueller, exactly. Mueller, who stayed on an extra two years, completely unconstitutional.
So some paper shredding.
He has connections.
And by the way, the CIA is shredding as we speak.
Now, here is, and I have to say, the money honey on the ball from Saturday. She had the big guns. It starts with, let's pick up Devin Nunes.
One of the challenges I think that Durham has, the U.S. Attorney out of Connecticut and the other U.S. attorneys that are working on this, is that some of these documents that Director Radcliffe just made to light, they were hidden not only from Durham but also from us. I think these documents only appeared in the last few months, and these were major bombshells that have been buried by debate and the president coming down with COVID. But the reality is that we now have the smoking guns of the fact that everybody within the Obama orbit knew that Clinton was running an operation. And secondly, the Crossfire Hurricane team, the team that was doing the spying, doing the investigation into the Trump campaign and the Republican Party, they also knew that there was a Hillary Clinton operation. So the only remaining issue that's out there that I don't have clarity on and that we need Durham to get to the bottom of is, at what point did the FBI and Department of Justice back in 2016, possibly late 2015, begin working hand in glove with the Clinton campaign and the Democratic National Committee to run this investigation into the Trump campaign?
Oh, man, this is going to get so scrumptious. So she also had the president on, and he did not mince words, and he laid it all out.
We now know from these documents that John Radcliffe unveiled that it was Hillary Clinton's idea to tie you to Russia in some way. It was successful. The whole country was talking about it for 2.5 years. But what comes next, Mr. President? We can have all of these documents. We can see exactly what happened. But unless John Durham comes out with a report or indictments, unless Bill Barr comes out with some kind of a ruling here, do you think this is resonating on the American people?
Unless Bill Barr indicts these people for crimes, the greatest political crime in the history of our country, then we're going to get little satisfaction unless I win, and we'll just have to go, because I won't forget it. But these people should be indicted. This was the greatest political crime in the history of our country, and that includes Obama and it includes Biden. These are people that spied in my campaign, and we have everything. Now they say they have much more, okay? And I say, Bill, we got plenty. You don't need any more. We got so much, Maria. Even just take a look at the Comey report, 78 pages of kill, done by Horowitz. And I have a lot of respect for Horowitz, and he said prosecute. He recommended prosecute, and they didn't prosecute. I couldn't believe it, but they didn't do it because they said we have much bigger fish to fry. Well, that's okay. They indicted Flynn for lying, and he didn't lie. Yeah. They destroyed many lives. Roger Stone over nothing. They destroyed lives. So look at Manafort. They sent in a black book that was a phony black book. Phony. They made up a black book of cash that he got from Ukraine or someplace, and he didn't get any cash. It was a phony book.
John Brennan briefed President Obama on this. What else is needed to ensure that the American people understand what took place, trampling on American people's rights and liberties before the election?
Look, We have all the evidence in the world. In addition to that, I released everything, every document. I don't care what it pertains to. I released everything. I've declassified. I'm the only one in the country that has the power to do that. I've declassified everything. I did it a year ago, actually, for Bill Barr.
By the way,
yeah.
So we're at the dinner table, and JC knows about this. The fact that Trump actually declassified everything.
Yeah.
So there are, and I said, well, geez, this is the time to go go for the Freedom of Information Act and get what you can before they lock it back up, which they're going to do after the election if Trump loses.
Sure.
But apparently there are companies being formed just to grab what they can
for publishing.
Yes, and publish it. And there's tons of material apparently. In fact, when he declassified all of it like that, it probably was a mistake. Well, because now there's too much.
Yeah, and remember, there's one more player who we haven't talked about because the 33,000 emails apparently have been recovered. They are at State Department. And who was running the State Department? Another fine ex-CIA man. You don't ever really quit, as far as I know. You're always a member of the pickle factory. And he is the one that is dragging his heels on releasing. He has not released these emails. So, money honey to the rescue.
What is the state of this investigation into Hillary Clinton's emails?
That's not money honey. Who the hell was that?
That's someone else.
You'll remember, I was close to this even when I was a member of Congress when I served on the Benghazi committee now, what seems like a little bit time ago. We've got the emails. We're getting them out. We're going to get all this information out so the American people can see it. You'll remember, there was classified information on a private server. It should have never been there. Hillary Clinton should never have done that. It was unacceptable behavior. It's not the kind of thing that leaders do. They don't put that kind of information out, and you can see whether it's Russia or China or Iran or the North Koreans who want to get their hands on this kind of information. Classified information needs to stay in the right places.
Hold on a second. By the way, that was Dana Perino from Fox. What he says here is a classic bullcrap CIA line. Listen.
The leaders do. They don't put that kind of information out, and you can see whether it's Russia or China or Iran or the North Koreans who...
Oh, come on. Oh, Iran, North Korea. Oh, let's be... Yeah, we don't want to put this information out. No, Pompeo. He's got a problem.
We get their hands on this kind of information. Classified information needs to stay in the right places. Secretary Clinton, when she was here at the State Department, did not do that.
The president has the authority to declassify anything he wants. All authority is to him. Could he declassify it and order it released if he wanted to and if he ordered?
Absolutely. We're going to get there. We're going to get this information out so the American people can see it.
If he were to order that, would there be concerns about maybe health and safety of sources or methods that could possibly be in these emails if there's classified information?
Oh, brother. So, Dana, I've been at this a long time with President Trump for 4 years now almost. I've never seen him do anything that would put any kind of asset, any kind of one of our officers in any harm's way. He wouldn't do that. We'll get the information.
That line that she delivered was like a line scripted by the CIA. The way she put it.
Let's listen again.
Order that, would there be concerns about maybe health and safety of sources or methods that could possibly be in these emails if there's classified information?
Yeah, and
sources and methods.
Yeah. And you know why she asked that question? I believe, I've thought this for a long time. I think we've confirmed it. I believe Dana Perino to be a spook.
Well, she has the look of a spook.
She's got the look. She says the words. Where did she come from?
Well, I'll go look that up.
We'll finish the clip.
I've been at this a long time with President Trump for 4 years now almost. I've never seen him do anything that would put any kind of asset, any kind of one of our officers in any harm's way. He wouldn't do that. We'll get the information out that needs to get out, and we'll do it in a way that protects the intelligence sources that we need to protect.
Okay.
In other words, they're not going to release the emails because there's too much good shit in it.
Everybody wants to spot the spook. Yeah.
Okay, Dana Perino, spook or not?
Well, let's find out. Let's say she went to what's the school? Let's start with the schools, of course.
Yeah.
She's born in Wyoming, which is okay. That could be anything. Ponderosa High School, graduate Colorado State University, not too bad. Bachelor's degree in mass communication. She was on the university's forensics team. I don't know what that. Worked for a TV station. Master's degree in public affairs.
Then she moved
from University of Illinois Springs. So far, nothing. But she also worked for, when she worked for a CBS affiliate.
Oh?
Yeah. It's.
Oh no! I see it on the Wikipedia. That's too funny.
WCIA. Okay, well we'll just let that.
Come on, man, come on,
man. We'll let that slide. Let's go on.
WCIA. Hey, everybody, it's WCIA. I'm Dana Perino. Let's see.
She's pretty cloaked, I will say.
Yeah. Okay. She was nominated by President Barack Obama to serve on the Broadcasting Board of Governors, and was
not something you normally see from a from a Republican.
Well, that's also the propaganda.
That's a front.
Of course, it's a front. Oh, here we go. As she started teaching political communications at George Washington University, I think her husband must have been the guy who is that guy? Who was her husband?
He's an English-born Peter McMahon.
Sketch.
He's not linked, so I can't say.
All right. And then post. Okay. Well,
I think you're right. I think your instincts are correct.
Yeah.
But she's cloaked very well. She's not an obvious, except for the WCIA thing.
You know, we call her a good hire.
She is a good hire.
She's a good hire. Fantastic. It just came to me. Yeah, we know what's up with that. Okay. Oh, Saturday Night Live. Since we had the banker and his wife over, we didn't watch it. But then in bed we watched the opening, which was Bill Burr, which was, I think
he bombed.
Yeah, I felt he bombed, and I like Bill Burr a lot. He was trying
too, but he is not the audience for him, and he
was trying to straddle. He was trying to straddle. He's trying to say funny stuff. It just
he should have just done a special thing for this audience. I think he screwed up.
Yeah,
he took it for granted that his material is universal,
and that jokes just don't work anymore. Stuff is not funny. It's just if you can't say something outrageous, controversial. It's rarely funny. No,
it just didn't work. It was a bomb.
Now, the reason I bring this up is because I did not see what they called the cold open, which was debate with, of course, Kamala and Pence and the fly on his head. And I guess the fly was Biden. Ha, ha, ha. We hadn't seen the memes, though, all week before. But a number of people keep emailing me. Yes?
You were correct, sir.
What?
Got a collection of all the Biden Wallace memes that came in, and that picture that we vetoed for the cover art.
Yeah,
was amongst them.
Yeah, and exactly, and that's why we're better than Saturday Night Live. But a lot of people are emailing me and saying this was a deep fake. Look, the fly just appears on his head. You don't see it fly into the frame. And I wanted to discuss that for just a moment with everybody. Although I would love for that to be true, you cannot take a YouTube video and say that has been converted from whatever original, which could probably from television, not from original recording, unless you can show me 60 frames, then there's no way for you to know if the fly flew into the frame or not. So it just doesn't translate. YouTube does not translate one for one. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in transcoding video for YouTube. So
yes, I agree.
And people get mad. Don't you see it? I said, no, I need to see all the frames. Not, you have like 5 frames per second or whatever you're showing me.
There are some people that claim it was a robot.
No, I was the one that claimed that right up front.
Robot fly.
Drone. No, it's a drone. It's a drone. I wanted to call back for 1 second. I forgot to mention during the woke conversation, I got a note from Anonymous, who works for a public interest law firm in Minneapolis, Minnesota nuts. And he says, we've been looking for clients to help us bring lawsuits against private sector businesses that have been not hiring, firing, and harassing people based on their race and nationality. And what he means is he was listening to Thursday's episode where we mentioned that Alex retweeted one of Trump's tweets and was called into his HR manager's office where they asked him if he was a white supremacist. You remember that story?
Oh, yeah, I do remember it.
So our lawyer says, this is racial harassment and it is illegal. Please forward this to Alex so he can get in contact with me if he chooses. He says you can also give a shout out to umlc.org. We've been fighting the mask mandates, the shutdown orders, police defunding in the Twin Cities, and other discriminatory actions. But I was thinking of this in reference to the store where the guy was wearing a Trump T-shirt and you're racist, get out of here, which sounds oddly like an altercation from several years ago. You sure that clip was new?
I don't know whether the clip was new or not, but I sensed that it was fairly new because of the nature of the just the situation, because they had it was a video.
Right.
And it didn't look like an old video.
Right. But that is illegal. All of that stuff is illegal. But particularly getting called into the HR manager office and say, hey, are you a white supremacist because you retweeted Trump? That's pretty crazy. Right in par with this teacher. You may have heard the story, Patrick Casey. He teaches in California, Oxnard Union High School. And this was a parent recorded this from a Zoom call. Their kid was on the call. Yes. And this is what he, I guess a question was raised and the kid said, oh, Donald Trump, President Trump. And immediately was parade.
No, so the question was, who do you admire?
Who do you admire? That's right. And the teacher right away just was having none of that because
white men miss the old days where they could just be a white dude who walked up and grabbed women by their genitals and nobody said anything, right? But
when was this?
Hold on. Listen to the rest of it.
When were those good old days?
Well, you and I remember them. Don't you remember the old days? We just walk up and grab them. It's good times, man.
Wow.
It's good times.
Right. But you can't do that now. So that's why there's all these people like, make America great again. What they mean is make it kind of racist and sexist again. That's what they're talking about.
Exactly. We want to grab women by their genitals. Yeah.
Where did this guy grow up? How old is he? This never existed.
He's in California. Of course. Teacher in California. Isn't that fantastic?
It's the kind of people trying, I want to just reiterate something that's noteworthy.
Homeschooling.
Because I said it before. The only reason for education currently in this country is to turn every student into a voting Democrat. That's it. There is no other reason. They're not teaching anybody anything. That's a good example. That world that he described never exists. I don't know of any world like that. You just, wandering around. Hey, let's just grab her just grab her. Jeez. Besides that, most women would deck you.
Yeah, exactly.
And they had, they got more strength than they look like they have. And you got your guard down.
Oh man, that's just so good, isn't it? So good.
Unbelievable. All right, where were we?
Well, we're
somewhere.
Well,
let me take one quick little thing. I want to get this out of the way because it came in. It's a note. It's a note I want to read.
All right.
And let's see if I can find the right one. I think this must be it. Yeah. This is from one of our producers, Barry. And I know other people that have had it too. And this sounds like a pretty standard report. I and my family are recovering from COVID, and I thought I'd share a bit of the experience. He's a white male, 55, good health. My wife, same except female. 2 daughters, 19 and 24, all tested positive. And they had symptoms. They had similar symptoms and disease progression, all pretty much the same. With them, it started with aches, joints, connective tissue, etc. But the pain was different from anything I've experienced. Not the worst pain, but very unique. Then we all got a collection of symptoms that was exactly like a mild flu, which is what this would have been considered in normal times if it was never identified as something else. This is the way I see it. Because that's the way everyone describes a mild flu. but they had mild with fatigue, a lot of fatigue. JC had a lot of fatigue.
Yeah.
Mild fever, cough, and congestion. Now, the cough they told us didn't exist, but apparently everyone has a cough. Oh, no, I'm sorry, not the cough. Everyone had a cough. I'm thinking of something else. Congestion. That's what they said that we didn't have a lot of. And JC never had. He had the cough, but he never had congestion.
Right.
The kicker was the loss of smell and taste. Jesse had a mild case, and all she had was a loss of taste and smell.
Mm-hmm.
When I say we lost our sense of taste, it's not the muted senses you get with any heavy congestion. It was a near total loss, zero.
Wow.
That's what everyone says.
But that also happens with the flu sometimes.
I never had this happen to me. Well, I had the flu, so I guess it wouldn't happen. All we could taste was salt, but nothing else. I wish I had tried a sour candy with a lot of malic acid to check that out. This loss lasted for about 2 days of total loss and then slowly came back, which is I got the other reports are very similar. Now, the sense of freedom is uplifting. It shouldn't be. I mean, I got over a mild to moderate virus. In a normal world, I'd probably been taking a day and a half off of work and never thought about it again. Other than the loss in taste, that was unusual. Boom, done. So meanwhile, we've shut down the country, screwed everybody up, and blamed Trump for everything.
So we have a troll in the troll room, Libby Elitist, who says, "Oh, I'm doing the voice. Oh, is this the dismiss COVID as mild flu bit of the day? COVID equals asymptomatic spread, no immunity. 213,000 dead." Well, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, Libby Troll, and I'll tell you what I'm going to do. We now have 70 people confirmed for the Vegas meetup. 70 people. Masks will, in my opinion, I'm not sure about the venue, but you can wear them, you can't, don't have to wear them. I don't mind. I'll tell you my rules. I'm not going to wear a mask. I will shake your hands. I'm not going to kiss you, and I will periodically pour some Purell or something on my hands just because I'm shaking your hand. I'm not worried about it. So, yeah, Libby elitist.
And I will say something. Adam's a neat freak, Libby. You're probably not.
Exactly. Okay, the troll room just went crazy. And you know, because I think about this. There's 70 people coming. I would say if you don't feel so hot, or if you actually do feel hot, if you got a temperature, then don't come or stay a little bit away. Stay a little bit away. Just act like it's please act like it's a mild flu, and you don't want to infect any of your fellow Gitmo Nation residents, or me, or my wife, or Eric the Shill, or any. And there's lots of people coming.
There's kids.
But I'm not going to be, like Libby the elitist, like, oh, I could be a number. No, I stick by this.
You're going to be collecting donations at this event? Of course you are.
And I will take dirty cash, as dirty as you want it to be.
It's got to be in an envelope with a note, people.
Dirty envelope. It's good.
Dirty envelope. The clean envelope and with a note in the envelope saying who you are and your city and all the rest.
And the only precautions I will take is what I've been doing is I will continue to take my quercetin and zinc, which I've been doing since the beginning. I've been tested. Joe Rogan tested me. 2 different tests. I actually was disappointed. I thought, oh man, I'm sure I've had it. No. So, I stand by.
Are you assuming the test is accurate?
Well, I had the antibody test too. That one's.
You sure that's accurate?
I think so. Okay. Now, you know what? And my beautiful wife, she may want to keep her mask on. That's fine. She may not want to shake your hand. We haven't really talked about it. So everyone and anyone is respected. But I'm just not worried about this. And that we've been this way for months and months and months. Had the same opinion. And, you can tell me 213 dead all you want, but we just read the numbers. There's no excess death.
213,000.
Yeah, 213,000. There's no excess death in the United States. And what are I don't have comorbidities. Tourette's.
Well, I also say, I think that the guy that just wrote this note in, and I believe this is the guy's not lying like Libby might think.
Mm-hmm.
The fact is that, if it wasn't for this thing being identified as something different, it would have been seen as a mild flu and it also killed a lot of people.
Yes.
I don't know if it killed as many as they say, but then they say, oh, there's probably more dead, but then you have to go against the statistics you read at the beginning of the show.
Right.
This is not worth ruining your life over.
Thank you. Exactly. And I think I'm a hugger. I really like to hug people, but if you had the flu, if there was possibility of flu, I wouldn't want to hug you either. But I don't mind I will shake everyone's hand, and I will remember not to stick it in my mouth or touch my eyes or anything. Yeah. So I will live and die by the sword. Nuts. Okay. Let me see. Well, there's a couple of directions we can go. I have a great World Economic Forum Great Reset. We'll do that after the first break.
I have 4 clips from the Rush Limbaugh interview with Trump that went 2 hours.
Yeah. Well, I have the F-bomb. That's all I got.
I got the F-bomb. Yeah, the F-bomb. Well, the F-bomb's got to be.
Let's do this because I didn't listen to that. And what was the deal? Was it?
What was the deal?
What's the deal, man? He must have been on a delay. I mean, the fact that the F-bomb clip caught out, I don't think that went on the air, did it?
Yeah, I think it did.
Oh, all right.
Now, I would think that Rush is on a delay because he takes calls. He doesn't take that many.
Yeah.
But he does take some. And so you would put it on a delay because you know it's going to be the, right.
But the video we saw was of his studio camera, which takes the full direct feed, is not after the digital delay, I presume.
Well, maybe. I don't know. As far as I know, it went over the air.
And by the way, the horrors. Oh.
Well, we can start with that clip. Just play it.
Okay.
Never been done before. And Iran knows that, and they've been put on notice. If you fuck around with us, if you do something bad to us, we are going to do things to you that have never been done before.
And to me, it actually sounded quite powerful.
I liked it.
Using the F word, which I use too much and just too much. But when the president does it here, that's like, when he says, "Hey, don't fuck around with us." I thought it was powerful, actually, the way he used it in this instance.
Now I have, like I said, I only have a few clips. The thing was Trump talking and Rush trying to get in a word in edgewise, and every time he did, it was like Rush was actually ruining the flow. Because Trump was on a roll. He was just yakking like a madman, and he was throwing out a lot of information, but it was totally Trump, in his chatterbox mode. And he gets in that chatterbox mode, and he can't stop talking. This is like when he does his presentations in front of a large audience. He just goes.
Yeah.
And Rush, every once in a while tried to jump in and say something. It was always like, Rush screwed it up. But a couple of things I got.
Hey, hold on a second. How is Rush? How's the cancer?
I don't know. He only comes on the air a couple of times a week, and he sounds like his old self.
Yeah.
And there was one funny bit in here where he kind of, I'll play the funny bit first. This is where he goes on Black Lives Matter and the NBA. This is a classic example of how Trump manages to insult people just casually. He just does it routinely. He's got a little grudge. Let me throw an insult in, then back it off a little bit with a kind of a Don Rickles, I kid. He does it differently, but he insults and does I kid in a funny kind of a way. But he's an insult comic in many ways. So let's listen to this is Trush BLM. I should say BS says NLM NBA.
NBA commissioner, they're going to pull their Black Lives Matter messaging next year. No longer going to be on the uniforms, no longer going to be on the basketball court. They're no longer going to. And I wonder why that is, Mr. President.
Because their ratings have died.
Oh,
nobody
I wouldn't have known.
I haven't watched a basketball game, and I helped them get open. I haven't watched a basketball game.
You tried to help them. You tried to help the NFL.
I tried to help the NFL, and then Roger, nice guy, Goodell, in his basement wearing a very tight blue T-shirt, and he's not meant for it. Nor am I, nor are you. Just one of those things, at a certain age you put on a tie, right? But what happens is...
Nice sound effects.
You stepped all over it with your laugh.
I heard it, but what were the sound effects?
That was his phone going off.
I tried to help the NFL, and then Roger, nice guy, Goodell, in his basement wearing a very tight blue T-shirt, and he's not meant for it, nor am I, nor are you. It's just one of those things, at a certain age you put on a tie, right? But what happens is...
certain age you put on a tie.
You said something there. Here's the debate we should see. Trump versus Triumph the insult comic dog. He should step up for Joe. Put Triumph in there. That would be good.
That'd be funny to orchestrate that. Whether the guy who does Triumph would do it is another issue. I think he's a Democrat, but he might do it.
Maybe.
You never know. So here's a couple of these other clips. These are pretty random out of this thing, but this is a funny Trump comment, lies, and then I'll explain what that means after the clip.
We've been taken advantage of by every nation in the world, including our friends. Our friends sometimes are worse than our enemies. We are, what I've done with NATO. We were taking care of virtually 100% of the military needs of Europe, guarding them from Russia. At the same time, they were taking advantage of us on trade, and in many ways they were worse than China. Europe was worse to us on trade than China was. And I changed so many things. But, then they say, in Germany they don't like Trump as much as they like Obama. Well, of course they shouldn't like me, because Germany was taking advantage of us like few countries took advantage of us.
What was Angela Merkel doing making a deal with Russia on that natural gas pipeline? You made that point at NATO. She should have been buying it from us.
Nobody even knew about that pipeline until I brought it up.
Excuse me, Mr. President. The No Agenda Show has been doing this for about 8 years.
Before he was elected president, we've talked about that pipeline.
Nobody ever knew it. Sure. Okay.
So there you go. I put it on the list of lies.
We should lie. We should be
lie.
We should be part of the National Security Council. So easy to see.
They could do worse. So I got a kick out of that.
That's
that was worth making a clip of.
Trump lies.
So here's where he goes, and he's just because he's on a total tear.
Yeah, he's doing his material now. Now he's rolling.
He's doing material, and so he decides to go off on. So he goes off on Biden, and he does it in a he's working on different ways to slam Biden, and he's got some code words in there, and he's got some cool little ways of putting things, and so this is where he morphs into a kind of a disparaging Biden, and this is the last clip I have of this.
I said, why are you paying Russia billions of dollars and we're protecting you? Tell me, what kind of a deal is this? We're protecting you, but you're giving Russia every month billions of dollars.
What did she say?
She smiles because she's a very smart one. She knows it. There's no way she can answer the question. I say, you don't have to answer the question, Angela. I like Angela. I get along with her, believe it or not, quite well. But, she's a player. And I said, Angela, don't answer the question because I don't want to embarrass you. There's no way she can answer the question because she gets away with it. That's why. She's a very smart, cunning person. But I caught him. Hey, Rush, I got them to pay $130 billion going to $410 billion more each year against Russia. Now, I get along with Putin. I like Putin. Putin possibly likes me, but I guarantee you one thing. He would have much rather seen crooked Hillary, and I guarantee he'd rather see Biden because Biden is slow. Biden is not equipped to be president. He never was at his best day, but he is not equipped now. It's no longer prime time. And not because he's 78. Because, frankly, at 78, as we said before, I know the sharpest people, they're 85, they're 80. It's not an age, now they're all saying, it's 78. It's not because he's 78. There's something wrong with him, okay? And we can be nice about it.
They know that. That's why they're angling to get Kamala the gig.
Nobody wants to say it, but he can't, his thoughts are bad. Here's a guy, you talk about access to the press. I've never seen this before, and I've watched a lot, and I don't know how he gets away. You saw that NBC joke the other night where it's like a child, like you're asking a child questions. They don't talk to me that way. When you look at the questions that he gets, and then he reads the answers off a computer. Now, that means that these supposedly legitimate, but they're not legitimate. You know that better than I do. these news organizations are giving him questions. They're putting him in a computer. He's reading the answers off a computer. I never heard of that before. I've never done that. Can you imagine? Give me the questions, and I'm going to give you an answer off a computer. He's reading the answers off a computer.
Yes, we got it. Reading off. But the president is right, and I wanted to play these two quick clips.
Well, I want to mention the one little quote I thought was a real good way of putting it. Biden is no longer prime time.
Yeah, that's...
There's all these different ways of saying he's, one card short of a deck.
Not
but
prime
this
time.
No longer prime time. I always thought was a gem.
Yeah, that is good. Well, let's listen to Vice President Joe Biden in February of this year.
As president, I'll make sure we get to net zero emissions before 2050, and we're going to invest $400 billion in clean energy technologies, twice what we invested in going to the moon, to make sure we lead the world again in clean energy. A clean energy technology future. Woo! Making sure that every new infrastructure project, highways, schools, buildings, from this point on is a green infrastructure, installing 500,000 charging stations on these new highways, owning the electric vehicle market, creating 10 million new jobs.
Listen to that.
Not $15 an hour, but $50 an hour with benefits. Woo! Prevailing wage. I think it's time we had a president with the courage to stand up to the NRA and the gun manufacturers.
That was Joe Biden in February. I mean, the guy is fired up. Hey, I'll take a $50 an hour job if it's a good paying union job, Joe. And now here's Joe just 2 days ago.
Sir, I've got to ask you about packing the courts. And I know that you said yesterday you aren't going to answer the question until after the election. But this is the number one thing that I've been asked about from viewers in the past couple of days.
Well, you've been asked by the viewers who are probably Republicans who don't want me continuing to talk about what they're doing to the court right now.
Well, sir, don't the voters deserve to know?
No, they don't. I'm not going to play his game.
No, they didn't. They don't deserve to know. And it got even worse when he made this flub.
Everywhere I've been hearing all around the country. You're trying your best, but it never feels like enough.
You're trying your breast?
Everywhere I've been hearing all around the country. You're trying your best, but it never feels like enough.
Oh, brother.
So this is not the same guy. I mean, something happened.
No, that's what Trump says. Trump goes on about Biden even further. But I have one Biden clip since we're playing these.
Okay.
This is... So Joe goes to Nevada. He is a little fired up on this speech, but it's the same old speech about holding your daughter and saying, "Oh, it's going to be okay, honey." That's crap. And so but he's in Nevada and he's wearing a mask and he's got sunglasses on, even though the sun's not in his face. You can tell by the lighting. But he's wearing these sunglasses, so he looks like a mobster. I don't know why he does this.
Why not? I'd do it if I looked like a mobster. It's cool.
Well, he does look like a mobster. He's got the mask on. He's got his
aviators on. He's got his aviators.
But he's in. They don't show this. They don't show the scene. But apparently, he's in like a drive-in theater or something. And there's all these cars, and they're honking instead of applauding.
Really?
So it becomes this surreal thing where he says something and then all these horns start going off. So instead of clipping this, I just left the horn honking in because it's actually kind of amusing just to hear him say the same old, but with these horns going off. Here you go.
7 million more jobs in the president's plan. And $1 trillion more in economic growth than the president's plan. Democrats know how to get things done.
Whoa, he's fired up.
Here's how my plan works. It's not going to raise a penny in tax for anyone making less than $400,000 a year. Not a penny.
Listen to all those rich fuckers honking their horns. They must be making $400,000 a year.
$100,000 a year. Not a penny. And how am I going to pay for all this? I'm going to ask the big corporations and the wealthy to start paying their fair share. You realize that the Fortune 500 companies, 92 of them making billions of dollars, don't pay a single penny in taxes. It's wrong. Donald Trump paying $720 in taxes?
$720?
Come on,
man. I thought it was $750.
It was 7:50. He said 7:20 for some stupid reason. And while he was doing the Reno thing, I do have to pull this out because he does it over and over. He can't leave this out of his speech. This is Biden in Reno with this is the respect clip.
Job, Joe, is about a lot more than a paycheck. It's about your dignity. It's about respect. It's about your place in the community. It's being able to look your kid in the eye and say, honey, it's going to be okay.
Brother.
Now, just on Joe's plan for a second, he said he's going to tax the corporations and the wealthiest individuals.
So they can pay their fair share.
Which sounds a bit like California. And Bill Maher is back in his studio Friday nights, and he had Adam Schiff on, Congressman Schiff, and he brought this up.
Look, you're a congressman from California. I know some of this is not in your domain because you go to Washington and work on national issues, but I live in California, so I'm going to bitch a little bit, can I? Because, you know, I mean, there is an exodus. California businesses are leaving the state in droves. In just 2018 and 19, which were economic boom years, 765 commercial facilities left, 13,000 businesses left between 2009 and 2016. Look, I came out here in 1983. I found paradise. I love California. I do. I don't want to leave. But I feel like I'm living in Italy in the 70s or something. Super high taxes, potholes in the road. I don't know what I'm getting for my super high taxes. And I do understand. And this talk of exodus, you know, I tell you, people talk about this a lot now. And people are leaving. Like in my industry, Joe Rogan left.
Excuse me. Bill Maher. You cannot put yourself anywhere near the realm of podcasters, okay? You are beneath a podcaster, my friend. It's not your industry.
Ben Shapiro, sorry, ladies. Elon Musk talks about leaving. What do you say about that as a California representative?
Well, I think we have to make every effort to make this a more business-friendly state. And I don't think there's anything incompatible with being progressive, and also wanted to make sure that this is a place that businesses can survive and thrive.
Yeah, great answer. No. Going back to Biden for a second, someone sent me this clip, and sometimes I just wonder if Trump is not a time traveler or how he does it. But from day one, the biggest lie about him has been the very fine people hoax. And, oh, by the way, I should mention this. I think if you go to veryfinepeople.info.
Yeah.
Yes, there it is. Veryfinepeople.info. If anyone asks you, you can just say, go to veryfinepeople.info. And there's now a website with...
There's the transcript, there's the tape recording, there's everything.
Yeah. So we go back to when Joe Biden was in the Senate. And this was... well, listen.
The senator made a very moving and eloquent speech as a son of the Confederacy, acknowledging that it was time to change and yield to a position that Senator Carol Moseley Braun raised on the floor of the Senate, not granting a federal charter to a organization made up of many fine people who continue to display the Confederate flag.
So, in
in
exactly the same...
Who's the producer? Give it at least his first name or her first name.
Okay, let me see if I can find it.
That is a dynamite catch.
Isn't that fantastic? Let me see who that was.
That's clip of the day right there.
Clip of the day.
Now, I wish I had that on hand, but I'm going to search the system real quick, see if I can find. Yes, this was... This producer is only known as CK. This producer has done a lot of work to get me stuff completely anonymous.
CK's fine.
CK did a great job on
Friend
that
of Louis.
Yeah. No, I don't think so. And with that, I'd like to thank you for your courage and say in the morning to you, the man who put the C in the insult comic dog, John C. Dvorak.
Well, in the morning to you, Mr. Adam Curry. In the morning, all ships at sea, boots on the ground, feet in the air, subs in the water, dames of the night out there.
Yeah, something like that. Hey, in the morning to our trolls. In the troll room at noagendastream.com. Hands up, trolls. Let's count you. 1829. That's what we like to see on a Sunday. Hello, trolls. Yeah. Oh, man, they ganged up on Libby Lefty. Whatever that was. Someone ain't coming.
Libby the Lefty.
Someone ain't coming back to the troll room. And that's what we like about it. The troll room is open. You can troll. You can yell at each other. You can yell at me. Do whatever you want. It makes it onto the show, but so do one-liners, all kinds of fantastic stuff. I love producing with the troll room out of the corner of my left eye.
I wonder why somebody like that person, Libby Lefty, would come into our troll room in the first place.
Because it's a troll room. Why not?
Are they sent? Well, what's the point? Are they sent? Are they part of a scheme?
No. These are people
Are they from Reddit?
Reddit. Of course. You know where they come from. Of course they're from Reddit.
I have a funny note by somebody who got turned onto the show by Reddit.
Oh, really?
Because they blasted us and played some clip, and they said, I listened to this clip. It sounded great. I started listening to the show.
Woo! Fail.
It's
backfire. Okay.
All right. Well, we do.
Well, no. So that is noagendastream.com. And when you're in there, you can ask for an invite to noagendasocial.com. Noagendasocial.com is our federated social network that has no algos, and it's a great signal to noise. In fact, I got a really nice email from, where is it here? From Sir Hamus, who said, I've always said, get off of Twitter, get off of Facebook. For, I think, €9 a month, you can set up your own Mastodon server. It takes, here, this is the note from Sir Hamus. Can't thank you enough for encouraging producers to get my own hosted Mastodon instance. Took less than 10 minutes to set up, and now I've sent invites to all of my family for access to our very own social instance. Well worth $10 a month being able to follow my kids and their grandparents in a face bag free way to share and keep in touch. I convinced my parents to delete their Facebook accounts. They've been enjoying an inner peace recently, and they've been missing for a decade of being force-fed the garbage and made-up drama induced there by the minute. And you can go to masto.host, masto.host. We have no affiliation. It's just some guy in Norway or Denmark, and he set it up, and it works. And for a small group, it's not for the size that noagendasocial.com is, but and you can connect them. You can federate them so it works cross servers. Worth looking at. And that is noagendasocial.com. Then all we need to do now is we need to thank the artists for episode 1284. We're coming up on our 13th anniversary. This was brought to us by Mike Riley, and it is a fabulous llama with lipstick. Now, there was a lot...
And eyelashes.
And eyelashes. And I don't even remember what the reference was. What was the reference? Was some guy was having sex with a llama? Was it something like that?
This is how syphilis came to Europe.
Ah, exactly. Now, there was a lot of art that we had to choose from, and we didn't choose this one right off the bat.
No, you did. You chose this one right off the bat, and then I had to try to get you off of it. I was promoting...
You like The Fly.
What fly?
Didn't you like The Fly on Pence's head?
No, what I liked was the Trump Roid Rage by Mathis. He's all pumped up.
Yeah, see, to me, that was like, I was just another Trump looking like the Hulk. You know, it's like, okay.
I didn't see another. You say another Trump looking like the Hulk. I don't recall that in the past. I also thought that Nick the Rat's pants down was kind of okay.
Yeah, didn't have enough context.
Yeah. And I like Darren O'Neill's NBA coaching as racism. Yeah, I liked all those three.
Yeah, but we just didn't want to give it to Darren, right? You said, fuck that guy. That's
no. You kept insisting about the llama. You were all in for this thing. And
I love the llama. The llama was hilarious.
I skipped the llama, and I said,
You also wanted Sir Ned's boobs, which I thought was inappropriate.
No, I did not want that either. I don't know where you're making this up. You're calling me a liar.
No, I'm going to record this. You said you liked the boobs. Or maybe you didn't want to...
Well, I can always say I like the boobs, but I didn't like these boobs.
And the 3-card Monty, you like that too.
Yeah, I did like the 3-card Monty. I thought that was a good reference.
So why did I win? Why did I win?
Because I didn't have strong enough arguments for any of these other artworks, and this was original art.
Yeah,
and he fine-tuned it with 2 versions.
And we were very enamored with the font.
Well, no, his font is nice. I mean, he's obviously designed a no agenda font for himself, and he uses it all the time. We analyzed the font. I did anyway, and noticed that this is a font of his own drawing. And he can send me a note. Maybe somebody else has done it, but it's a hand-drawn font, and it's been fontized. So it's like, it's not like every O is different. But that wasn't the main reason. It was remotely funny. It was funnier, and it was original art.
Yeah.
And so we picked it. Well, I couldn't really push the other stuff hard enough, and you were poo-pooing everything.
Congratulations, Mike Riley, and congratulations really to all the artists for producing such fine art. And I encourage everybody to go take a look at noagendaartgenerator.com. It's just it's good for a laugh. A lot of it is completely inappropriate. And they just not to be displayed as our album art, but stuff like this, like the llama, man, I believe it gets people to listen. I think that when you see a whole wall of stuff and you see the same art for the same podcast, and we're always different, and you see a llama with eyelashes and lipstick, click, I'm playing. So it's really important, and it's a part of the value for value that we propagate.
What was the show name?
The show name was eyeballitis.
You're right, eyeballitis.
Eyeballitis, and to which I said, hey, that's interesting. The dictionary doesn't recognize, my spell checker doesn't recognize eyeballitis.
Yeah, you actually thought it was
a real word. Okay. It's not a real word. Oh, all right, fine. Sorry about that. Of course, a lot of this art shows up over at noagendashop.com. Those guys have been making all kinds of groovy stuff, and they split the money with the show and with the artists, and it's all a nice value for value kiretsu. And we also love highlighting our top donors for each episode. They receive the official and very official title of executive producer, in this case for episode 1285, or associate executive producer of episode 1285 of the No Agenda Show, and we're going to thank them right now.
Yes, starting with Dreb Scott, Earl at Large. And he just celebrated 10-10 Day by giving us 10-10.10.
Wow, that's some good luck right there.
Quite a lot of luck he's going to get out of this. And all he says is keep up the great work. No jingles, no karma.
All right.
Dreb Scott.
Earl at Large, thank you for your courage, sir. Really appreciate that.
Daniel Mariano in Pflugerville, Texas. 333.69. And he sent a check in with a note. And the note says, this donation will bring me to knighthood. Now, supposedly he's already been brought to knighthood according to Eric, but I have no evidence of this, and why would he want a knighthood again? So we're putting him on the list whether he's a double knighting or not. My accounting is attached. I'd like to be known as Sir Daniel Mariano. Simple enough.
That's easy, yeah.
If possible, I'd like the following jingles. Trump aroused, Kiki science, that's true. For the round table, I'd like Dunkel and potato pancakes. Also, if you could throw in some Jobs karma, that'd be great. I'd like to give a shout out to Sam Morehouse for hitting me in the mouth 4 years ago. Thanks, Sam. You're the best. Perhaps you can get your act together one day and join me at the round table. Thanks for all that you and Adam do. You've truly made a positive impact on how I see the world now. Keep up the good work. Love and light.
Was it just a regular karma or Jobs karma?
It was.
Oops. John?
Well, did he say Jobs karma at all?
But that's what I'm asking you.
Oh, no, he's got no karma. Just Trump around Dr. Kiki science, and that's true.
Oh. It was hard to get it aroused, and it is hard to get it aroused, but we got it aroused.
Shut up already. It's science.
That's true.
I just looked. He is, if he was knighted, it was never done on the show, and it was never put in the credits. Oddly enough.
Well, he's getting knighted today, which makes sense since he just sent a note in asking for being knighted.
Perfect.
Okay. Jeff Gellinaw in Monroe, Washington, 33333. And he says, saw you on Rogan.
Hey.
Now, this is my number one podcast.
Nice.
Thank you for calling these assholes out.
China is asshole.
Yeah. Well, welcome, Jeff. Welcome. I'm glad to have you here. You are not alone. We got a lot of Rona producers, and they all turn out to be high quality.
Yes.
High quality. Yeah, high quality people. Welcome to the podcast.
High quality people.
High quality
no
people.
doubt about it.
Thank you, sir.
Sir Dodger of Panhandle in Pensacola, Florida, 33333. They're high quality until they turn on us. This completes my second knighthood, which I'm gifting to my smoking hot wife, Misty, for her 45th birthday on 10/18. So we got a birthday and a daming. Dame Misty of New England. To the round table, scapegoats and flying monkeys.
This is nice
you
for
might
the dame.
Die,
Job.
that's true, and oh my God, that's so amazing.
Hey, that's very kind of him to give the damehood to his smoking hot wife, Misty. That's very cool. I like that.
You might die.
That's true.
Oh my God, that is amazing!
Danke.
Jonathan Sims is next on the list, $333.33. I don't have his location, but it says, hi, John and Adam. Thank you for the show. Thank you for all the producers who support the show. My smoking hot baby mama and I receive tremendous value, but we are currently douchebags.
Oh, no.
Please cleanse us of this shame before we join Adam and the unmasked NA nobility this Tuesday at the Las Vegas Meetup.
You got it.
You've been de-douched.
Your show is our favorite media stream to ingest and keep our amygdalas at bay amidst the onslaught of a globalist a-hole propaganda.
Woo.
The universe is surely a better place because of its greatest podcast. That's us. Like the request, I got ants, WTC7 won't go away, and a goat karma for the protection and development of our first human resource en route.
And he says, thank you, Jonathan and Diana. Well, by request.
I got ants. I got ants.
WTC7 won't go away.
You've got karma.
Yeah, the full ant song is 2 minutes, so we only do a little bit there.
Joe Gates is next on the list, $333 from Laytonville, California. No note I can find. He's got nothing under Gates, nothing under the subject line donation.
Yeah, I found a lot under Gates, but nothing with Joe.
Yeah. Jacob Long is next. He's the first associate executive producer at $234.34 from Kennett Square, Pennsylvania. In the morning, this donation is for my smoking hot partner, Laura Renegade, and her 34th birthday on Sunday. I don't know if she's on the list.
Oh, let me check. Laura Renegade.
And that's today, actually.
Today. Hold on, I can do this check.
Laura Renegade. She just joined the Pew Pew Club.
Oh.
And I felt a de-douching along with an associate executive producer credit would round out her birthday weekend.
You've been de-douched.
We were hitting them out just before the CCP virus. You got lucky. Just before the CCP virus landed by our friend Sir Jason Deluzio of Chatsford.
Mm.
He's more creative than his name. I don't know what that means. As the mindlessness grew, so did our listening. We both really appreciate the show and listen even when we aren't together. The show is almost as good as having a smoking hot supportive partner to navigate this global panic attack.
That's us, baby. Smoking hot partner.
Since I haven't donated for myself yet, is it okay to call myself out as a douchebag? No. Not in this note. Now, gratuitous call-outs is not...
What is it with people who just want to be douched?
I don't know. I have no idea. I'm against it.
It's a furry thing.
She would do it if she were making the donation.
Right.
Well, she's not making the donation. Jingles for Renegade. Pew, pew, pew. Don't eat me, Bo Jiden. Don't enslave me, Kamala, and some jobs karma. And she's looking for an upgrade, and I'm in the event industry with a production company in the Philly area.
All right. Well, thank you for your courage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not quite sure.
Don't eat me, Bo Jordan. You're scary. So scary. Don't enslave me, Kamala.
Jobs, 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 and jobs. Let's vote for jobs.
You've got karma.
That one is just not requested enough.
Don't enslave me, Kamala.
So the child is terrified.
Yeah, I love the trembling in her voice.
One more time.
Don't enslave me, Kamala.
Kamala! Yeah. It's so good.
Get her a SAG card immediately.
Yes. This kid is good.
So you put her on the list for birthdays?
Yes, she's on. I got her on. Yep, got her on.
Sir William Durkin, meanwhile, in Greenville, South Carolina, came with $222. Please give this associate producer title to my... This is nice today. Now, so we have to make a note here. This is an associate producer title given to his stunning girlfriend, Agatha, I think it's Shapaniak.
Yeah.
Will you please give her some jobs karma and play Dr. Kiki? People are learning through science. And he emailed it. Emailed a clip. Well,
yeah, I got it.
People are learning through science. Jobs, jobs,
really?
jobs,
That's a real clip?
and jobs.
Yes.
Let's vote for jobs.
You've got karma.
Now, I'm not sure, because, Kiki is onto this. Dr. Kiki, she kind of took it and run when we were making fun of her, and she's done this before, so I don't know if it's been edited or if she's just doing this, but it's funny.
People are learning through science.
Yeah.
It's different. It sounds different than the other science, so it doesn't sound like a clip.
But, we'll find out. I think it's probably a real clip from her. That's something she does.
It's something she says.
Yeah.
At least she's consistent. Yeah, that's what I like.
Dr. Kiki.
Cody and Sherry Wormager, I guess.
Wormager.
In Arlington Heights, Illinois.
No, you're right. Yeah.
To 1010. This donation is a birthday gift for myself, Cody, and my mom, Sherry, to be credited to my amazing father and her wonderful husband, Eric Wormager, for his 59th birthday, now belated on 10/10/2020. 10/10/2020, by the way.
Yeah, nice numbers.
Nice stuff. We love you so much. Thanks for being the greatest dad, husband, and more recently, grandfather. You're the best. I also give the old man a de-douching.
You've been de-douched.
My mom and myself don't need it because we are good slaves and have already donated. I found a show way back in the time before the dimensional split, a simpler time, a time before widespread TDS and COVID paranoia. I managed to hit my father in the mouth after a few years, and he, in turn, with the help of the globalist community and useful idiots pushing COVID doom and gloom, and your universe level-headedness, hit my mother in the mouth. We discuss the shows regularly and share our favorite moments and best information. We laugh and sometimes fume. But it's all worth to know that we are not alone. And we all love you both, and we're so grateful for the show.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So to you both, Buzzkill and the Crackpot, we say thank you, and may you never find an exit strategy.
Well, unfortunately, we do have an exit strategy. And the exit strategy is we podcast until we die. That's the big exit. Bye, everybody. I can't think of any other exit strategy for us. There are worse jobs to have
than sitting around shooting the shit.
Right. Because if we didn't have this show, we'd just be
shooting the shit to ourselves.
Yes.
You and the banker. Andre Adams is next on the list at $202. And I do have one. Don't forget, I got to add another one at the end.
Yep, I remembered.
Andre was prematurely knighted last week because he sent so many notes in that he ended up getting knighted. He didn't want to be because today is 1280, show 1285, which is coincidentally same as his birth month. And it's also 1 + 2 = 3, and 8 ± 5 is 3, which is the magic number 33, which is convoluted.
Remarkable. Mm-hmm.
And he wants to be reunited Surreal ID of the Nashville Nether. He's been a listener since around the mid-550s. There were some CNET girls fangirling out over 23andMe, and there was a Reddit post calling you guys assholes.
Again,
that you played a clip from the show. I guess we played their clip. Listening to the YouTube clip, you guys gave some great insight, and I was hooked. Thank you, Reddit.
And what was that
Been
about?
on our subscription for a while, and currently halfway to second knighthood. I was California refugee before it was cool. Originally from down the street in Vallejo, right up the road from John. It's hard to go back seeing how it's gone so far downhill. Vallejo started going downhill in the 50s. I have a female friend, 35, no kids, but has 2 dogs that is completely all in. Bought both the White Fragility book and Trump's sister's book.
Oh, my.
Watches that garbage Trevor Noah Daily Show. Huge NPR listener. Still believes the Russia hoax and is a huge orange man bad syndrome sufferer.
Yeah, sad.
The kicker was when she told me that if Trump loses, he won't leave the White House. I damn near spit out my drink. It was so funny to hear it in real life. The weird part is that she said she used to be a Republican. Said she didn't vote for Obama for either terms. That is weird.
That is weird, yeah.
It's totally weird. But I can see it happening. Recently, we went on a kayaking trip, and while passing through the rural area, she remarked, "Uh-oh, we're in Trump country," in response to seeing American flags hanging outside. Oh, God, you can't hang a flag. Oh, my God, we're in Trump company because somebody's hanging an American flag.
Wow.
Maybe this has something to do with her divorce a few years ago from her crackhead, her words, not mine, military husband. I'm slowly hitting her in the mouth with jabs here and there, and I fear she may be too far gone. By the way, most of these people are too far gone.
You can't waste your time. If you see
don't waste your time.
If you see an opening, because sometimes it happens. You know, it's like, hey, that's kind of, you see a little crack, a little chink in the armor, and you can stick a wedge in and get somewhere.
She's more or less my barometer on the loony side now.
Yeah.
And she says, speaking of such, I would love to hear an update from Adam on the Obots dinner with the Obots segment. They're falling out. Nothing's happened.
No. It's been 5 years since I've seen the Obots.
So for the round table, he wants brisket and Blue Dream. I have no idea what that is.
Okay. Got it.
And he's got some jingles. Pastor Manning, Money Shot, Biden Whole Load, Oh My God, and Klobuchar looks good. He has extra ones on here, which I excise because I think they ruined his narrative. So I'd be acting as editor. And just last on his list of long list, he wants to know if Adam has seen Love on the Spectrum on Netflix. Answer, probably no.
I saw the promotion for it, but it did not. You know what I watched? So I just answer this question. My Octopus Teacher. If you have not seen this documentary, you have not lived. My Octopus is a guy who filmed him and an octopus for a year. Every day he went to visit the octopus. Underwater.
Octopuses are extremely intelligent.
Oh, my God. The octopus would recognize him, would hug him. The octopus would hug him. Now, you've got to see this. So I did see Love on the Spectrum, but I thought, octopus is more for me.
Well, he also says, what about, he asked about The Boys on Amazon, which I'm not going to watch.
I don't know what that is.
So thank you for your courage. And then he signs his name. And I will say this. Now, this guy had a lot of conversations with you and others in your group. You're a millennial, same age, pretty much the same age as my son. So it makes it interesting to me, everything you've done and said. Your handwriting for your signature looks like you're a prisoner. I don't want to be insulting, but that's what it looks like.
But you're doing it anyway. Okay.
And I've said this, Jen Briney's got a signature. It looks like she's a fifth grader. And I've lectured her on this. I said, you got to have a more, I did this with my daughter. I got my daughter to sign her name. I said, your signature is amateurish. It doesn't look artistic. It's terrible. Work on it. So she spent about a week developing a mighty signature that actually is nice. It looks a little like yours, actually.
Really? Okay.
She has a nice signature now. It's illegible, which is fine, but it's bold.
Yeah.
You can't have these little signatures that look like, because I've noticed this, prisoners, which you can run into prisoners and people.
Well, they have to write so much with pencil and paper, and they have to write really tiny to fit it all in. They
develop a little signature that's so small, and it's like they're still in jail. Everybody, especially you millennials, the older ones, take some penmanship, take some calligraphy, do something about your signature. These are not good signatures. They do not put you in a good light. End of lecture.
Okay.
Now, last one. We got one last one.
Wait, I have a whole 4 jingles lined up for him. Hello.
Oh, yes, just jingles. Do it.
That's a show enough money shot. Woo, Jesus. Woo, Lord. Look at that. That's a money shot. Kellyanne Conway is a money shot.
Oh, my God. That is amazing.
I'm going to give you the whole load today.
Oh, crap. I'm going to do that again. Everything misfired. Wrong order, and it was such a good one. Okay, we'll cut that out. No one will ever know.
That's a show enough money shot. Woo, Jesus. Woo, Lord. Look at that. That's a money shot. Kellyanne Conway is a money shot.
I'm going to give you the whole load today.
Oh, my God. That is amazing.
I think that sounds pretty good.
Okay.
You got an extra one in there, but okay, I'm sure.
No, you asked for the pretty good?
No, the pretty good, but the amazing's not on the list.
That's what you said. Oh, amazing. No, was it juice?
Yeah, it was, oh my God, look at that juice.
Well, okay, then we're just going to have to do that again. I feel bad about that. So, we will start over with the money shot, the juice. No, Biden.
No, money shot, load, juice, pretty good.
Do we hear ourselves here? Money shot, load, juice. That's pretty good. Okay, let me set the edit point because no one will ever know.
That's a show enough money shot. Woo, Jesus. Woo, Lord. Look at that. That's a money shot. Kellyanne Conway is a money shot.
I'm going to give you the whole load today.
Oh, my gosh. Can you see that juice? I think that sounds pretty good.
There we go. Don't want to get another email from prison.
Yeah, we'll be stuck in
if we did it wrong.
Loop.
You're doing it wrong.
Marcia Cappy is last, and she came in with $200. She sent a check in with a note, which I will gladly read. This is a letter format showing. Is this letter format showing my age? I haven't been in the business world for years. Do people still write formal business letters and a Dear John letter at that? It's just a standard-looking, old-fashioned letter, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them we get are like this. Anyway, my husband, Steven Cilio, pronunciation guy for my husband's name. First off, it's Italian. Americans never get the pronunciation correct unless they have a Romance language background. Their correct pronunciation is like this. Cilio. Okay. Steven Cilio is the way I think I was pronouncing, but it's Cilio. Steven Cilio, whom I love to bits, is my knight in urban armor and turning 66 on October 18th. He never misses your show. He will be so surprised if you mention his name during the show. So he's on the birthday list.
He sure is.
I had thought about donating a dollar amount with repeating threes, but I saw the $200 donation list, and I have instead opted for that amount. Hope we get good karma from you for our donation. We still need a little karma or whatever good vibes you've got. And so we'll give her a karma, and he call out to Stephen.
Yeah, and how do you pronounce his last name?
Salio.
Salio? Okay, because I'm going to have to say it later on. Yeah, we're not just
Salio.
We're not just going to give you karma. You want a good karma? That means you need a twist of goat.
You've got karma.
That's Marcia Cappy. Thank you very much, Marcia.
Yes.
No, you're not showing your age by writing a normal letter. All right. That concludes our group of executive producers and associate executive producers. Nice group indeed. For show 12, what is it?
1285. Yeah, thank you all so much. The titles are real. You can use them anywhere. Credits are recognized. Executive producer or subsequently associate executive producer. It will be listed on the show notes. We do it for every single show. It's baked into the MP3. It's immutable, as they say, and that's copied millions of times around the globe. So you will live on in infamy with these titles. And thank you for your courage. Thank you for understanding the value for value model. Whatever you get out of this show, put it back in. Just could be any number. Numbers sometimes are more important than the value, than the height of the number, than the actual increase. No, it's just whatever works for you. And if you want to do this again for the Thursday show, when we will, of course, we'll have a report from Vegas. We'll have a lot to talk about. We'll have a big meetup report. All you have to do is go to our donation website where you can submit your value. It's at
Dvorak.org/NA.
The value for value model. All we want is your time, your talent, or your treasure. Thank you for your courage.
Our formula is this. We go out, we hit people in the mouth.
Order. Shut up, slave.
Shut up, slave.
You know, a couple shows ago, we were talking about second half of show and how you're so disappointed that I don't do it anymore.
No, I never said that.
No, you want aliens.
Second half of shows for
I understand. But, okay. Yeah. It's because you want aliens, you want UFOs.
I want aliens.
And a lot of people want this. And it bothers me, obviously, because, you know, I like doing that. But we've gotten to the point, and I have an example of this, where the things that we were doing second half of show for years, moon bases, all of that is now coming out, being confirmed. And one of my favorites was reports that military personnel who are either working at missile silos or guarding them, that UFOs would come. We had clips, we had all kinds of stuff. UFOs would fly over the silos and all the equipment would be non-functional. So they couldn't even launch the missiles if they wanted to. And that was a real good second half of show. Well, now we're fast forwarding at least 9 years, maybe 10 since I first started talking about that. And now this is just mainstream. This is from, actually, Tucker Carlson always has these guys. He's doing second half of show. He always has them on his program. And this is from the movie, The Phenomenon, I think. Harry Reid speaks in this. Harry Reid, former senator of Nevada, where Area 51 is.
All we're saying, nobody has to agree that why it's there, but shouldn't we at least be spending some money to study all these phenomena? Shouldn't we study the stuff? The answer is yes, and that's all this was about, and why the federal government all these years has covered up, put brake pads on everything, stopped it. I think it's very, very bad for our country.
Are you saying that there's some evidence that still hasn't seen the light of day?
I'm saying most of it hasn't seen the light of day.
It's outrageous. And it's not a partisan question, by the way. That, of course, was former Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid of Nevada, a Democrat if there ever was one. But that's not even the biggest claim he makes. According to the film, Reid said that UFOs have actually and repeatedly interfered with our nuclear weapons capabilities.
Yeah, so to me, it's like, we've done it all. And of all the things we've done, they just eventually 5, 6, 7, 10 years later, they comes out again. I don't think I have anything. There's just nothing left.
Well, you had hold on a second. Now I agree with a lot of these. You're right. Everything we've done on this show 5 years ago is coming out now.
Mm-hmm.
But you had stuff where you were going to meet an alien.
Yeah, okay, but that opportunity doesn't come up every day.
Well, you don't get out enough. And I would think if there's any place, well, okay, here's one. You were in Texas and you got to see those screwball lights.
Yeah, Marfa, right? Do you know it's an 8-hour drive to Marfa? Another thing I'm not going to do a lot.
Drive out there and look around.
But to give you another example, which we
What about that? Wait. There's a couple of these towers in Texas, and I think some of them are around you.
The moon towers.
That use Tesla's energy, beams of energy for distribution of electrical grid.
Yeah, well, we've talked about that too. It's not in Austin; it's a little bit outside of Austin, and they have one of Tesla's towers. Yeah, we've talked about this. We've played clips.
Yeah, but you didn't go there yet.
Another example is something we like to call the 6-week cycle, and we can talk about that here. The 6-week cycle was really, we identified it during the Obama administration, that the FBI wants to keep its budgets, needs to keep fear flowing, needs to keep themselves looking good. And the way they do it is by infiltrating groups. Typically, at the time, it was terrorists. They find a guy who's already, low IQ, has posted a few crazy things on social media, and they'll contact him and they'll jack him up and they'll talk about jihad, and they'll wind up helping him get what he thinks is a van full of explosives. And the minute they give him the cell phone, the minute the guy tries to dial the number to detonate the fake bomb, they arrest him and make a big deal out of it. Yeah. And we call this the 6-week cycle. And the 6-week cycle...
It happened every 6 weeks.
Yeah. And the 6-week cycle team from the FBI is at it again with this Whitmer kidnapping bull crap.
Well, I question this as a 6-week cycle.
Well, no, it's not it's the 6-week cycle team. The team who were meant to do this as an October surprise. They've infiltrated this group of so-called militias for 6 months. 6 months they've been jacking them up, going to secret meetings, wiretapping them. They could have come out with this anytime they wanted, but no, it's got to be in October when heavy pressure is on the FBI.
Yeah, I mean, I have mixed feelings about this thing. I have a clip which is kind of interesting. The reason I say it, I read the indictment, and it's like, brother.
We've all seen this. We've seen this crap a million times.
Yeah, it's very similar, except they did it a little differently. They didn't have the guy, buying him the gear. I mean, they had their own gear, and it wasn't like come on, let's go buy some guns. And it's still, there's still the one missing man. They had the 13 guys, and they have pictures of them. I put the pictures in the newsletter.
Of which 5 of them are FBI informants. 5 of those guys are FBI informants, please.
And they look like, I always say there's probably one of them's a psycho. The rest of them are probably just, drinking buddies.
Yeah.
It could be phony as hell, and probably is, based on our thesis. Now, but the local reports are kind of interesting. So if you actually go to Michigan and pull down a local news report on this, it's completely different. And it's almost as though they don't care.
So I spoke with
this is the local report from a local station in the Michigan area where these guys were arrested.
So I spoke with Barry County Sheriff Darleaf, who does say he knows these guys. He, quote, has never had lunch with them or anything like that, but has ran into them at some of these rallies. He said they've always been nice and respectful to him, adding they deserve a fair trial.
Michael and William Null were among the first charged Thursday for their alleged roles in the plot to kidnap Governor Gretchen Whitmer. The brothers from Plainwell and Shelbyville are now charged with providing support for terroristic acts, on top of weapons charges. Their West Michigan homes raided Wednesday night.
Was able to hear them say, FBI, have a warrant for your arrest. Come out with your hands up.
A neighbor of William Null spoke with Fox 17 under the condition of anonymity. They witnessed the raid and were shocked hearing what it was related to.
I had heard that there was a lot of militia people. Their right to do so. But to the extent that we just found out last night, totally surprised about that.
The Null brothers had ties to militia groups and were frequently seen at local demonstrations, including at this rally in protest of Governor Whitmer's stay-at-home order held last May in Grand Rapids. You can see William Null on stage alongside Barry County Sheriff Dar Leaf, a guest speaker at the event. We spoke with Sheriff Leaf Thursday night.
Well, I haven't read everything up on it. I've got other duties to do. It wasn't our investigation. So I was shocked. I did not see this coming with those guys, but still, we can't convict them in the news media here. They do have a right to a fair trial.
Leaf says he doesn't know of Null's alleged involvement in the plot and doesn't have any regrets about sharing a stage with him.
Do you have any regrets from being on stage, sharing a stage with a guy who's now being charged in a plot to kidnap the governor?
Well, it's just a charge, and they say a plot to kidnap. And you got to remember that, are they trying to kidnap? Because a lot of people are angry with the governor, and they want her arrested. So are they trying to arrest, or was it a kidnap attempt? Because you can still, in Michigan, if it's a felony, you can make a felony arrest. And I think it's MCL 764.4 or something like that, 0.5, somewhere on there. And it doesn't say if you're an elected office that you're exempt from that arrest. So I have to look at it from that angle, and I'm hoping that's more what it is. In fact, these guys are innocent until proven guilty, so I'm not even sure if they had any part in it.
Ho, 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 ho. What did he say there at the end?
What?
He said these individuals have not even been proven guilty? Is that what he said? Does he not know the rule? The Brennan rule? The CIA the Brennan rule?
People are innocent until, alleged to be involved in some type of criminal activity.
Exactly. That's pretty funny now in hindsight, isn't it?
That Brennan rule is the best.
Here's the problem, an additional problem. The House Speaker of the State Senate wrote a letter to Governor Whitmer and said, I'm sure he's a Republican, said, we need to cooperate more, Governor Whitmer. A better message needs to be sent. And now that a couple days have gone by since the plot to attack us both has passed, there are several points I believe need to be made, and questions need to be asked. Why weren't we in the legislature warned of the plot to take hostages at the Capitol? The plot by these terrorists was against us too. Why weren't the House sergeants warned? You knew, and we weren't even given a warning. We had people working in the building every day doing essential work, and their lives matter too. Ooh, careful. I'm also alarmed the lieutenant governor recently blamed Michigan Republicans for the evil plans of these unstable men. That accusation is inflammatory and untrue, and it does not solve this problem. You chose to blame President Trump instead. The truth is, I started getting death threats to my family at my home the day you said my legislative actions would kill people. Please realize that. So it's just a lot of hot air back and forth. So I question this whole move. You can't trust the FBI. Whitmer doesn't seem very trustworthy.
The timing is screwy. The timing is bad for it's October, which is anything that happens in October, and if it's done by the officials,
it's always a surprise.
You have to question it as politically motivated.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what this is.
I think so.
But there's still, we're dealing with characters that are just, I don't know what to make of it. I've got a clip from. There was this, I didn't follow this. A couple of our producers said, you should follow this, and I didn't want to, but there's this breakup of these two girls that had this major podcast. They're supposedly making Joe Rogan money.
What? Why have I not heard of these? I'm the podfather.
Your bitch, your dad, she's your daddy was the name of this thing. And it was a blonde, and it was done by Barstool Sports, and it was, I guess, popular amongst a number of people. And then they broke up because of some money issues, because they weren't making enough.
Uh-huh.
And so they started going after each other in public. And so this one woman, there's a brunette and a blonde, and cute but very profane girls, and they just cuss a lot. But I have to say, so this Sophia woman, the brunette, Sophia, I can't remember her last name, but it's spelled funny. Franklin with a Y. She came out with a kind of a podcast doing mea culpas and talking about the breakup and all this. And it was, now why am I interested in this at all?
Well, you like watching cute chicks on YouTube.
So the reason is because this woman has a very distinctive gravelly voice. Not gravelly, she's got vocal fry, but she's very precise in her speaking. Very precise. And I just listened to her thing and pulled out like 7 ISOs.
Oh, no. Okay.
Now, first of all, she did, just to give her some credit, she did say something that was interesting about her experience as a podcaster that I think is worth listening to. It's a 14-second clip. This is, from all of everything she said, this is, to me, was the most important thing. The clip is Sophia with an F. With her comments on preteens.
Please forgive me. You just have to laugh through the pain sometimes. You know what I'm saying? But damn, the preteens are mean as shit. Like, seriously, that is a ruthless demographic.
Really?
Okay, well, I thought that was valuable.
Yeah.
Now, here we're going to go through some ISOs. You ready?
Yeah.
First, I got the Biden ones. I got 2 Biden ones. These are end of show possibilities. Biden, the new wrong.
It's wrong.
Okay, that's going into the spot just for now. That's good enough for me. I like it already. I
got this one, I think you should just keep this as an evergreen. This is good paying union jobs.
Yeah, that's always going to be a winner, isn't it? Here we go.
Good paying union jobs.
Oh man, that doesn't even come close to.
It's wrong.
That's good. That's wrong.
No, I don't expect. Okay, now we're going to move over to Sophia's stuff.
Okay.
And we're going to play. I'm going to see which one I think is the best. Okay, well, let's start with this one. This is scary.
All right.
It's scary.
Yeah, that's not bad. I like that.
And she's so precise.
Yeah,
she says it's scary, and she doesn't step on herself. It's
scary.
Yeah. A little fry at the end. Nice. Nicely done.
This says solution, but it says something. She said something else.
Are we all seeing the delusion now?
No.
Okay, that's no good.
No.
Now we got, okay. This will be, think of end of show, iconic.
Iconic, okay.
Iconic.
Yeah. That's
all vocal fry.
Yeah. I'm going to put that as a contender. All right, it's up as a contender. Yeah.
Okay, now I got the two kickers for the end of show.
Okay.
Had to be done.
Okay.
It had to be done.
Oh, yeah. Now, let me just check. Hold on a second. We have...
It had to be done. Iconic.
No, had to be done is better than iconic, but still...
It's wrong!
That's still pretty good. Pretty good. What else you got? Is that it?
The one more.
Okay.
Well, I can have two more. Did we play Scary yet?
Yeah, we did Scary.
Okay. Thank God.
Thank God it's over.
Yeah.
End of show.
How about this one?
Woo! Look at that racist. No.
No. Okay, so the three...
Play the last one over.
What, the one I just played? No, the Thank God?
Thank God it's over.
We have that. We have...
It had to be done.
It's wrong!
No, I think Thank God It's Over is kind of good.
Thank God it's over.
Yeah, I think it's perfect.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. Yeah.
Well, her show is full of these.
Oh, wow. What a treasure trove, John.
I've got it made.
Sundays will never be the same.
Treasure trove. Anyway, that's my report on her.
Oh, excellent report. I have a quick Brexit report.
Okay.
The UK, it's a red report by me. The UK Information Commissioner, which is known as the UK ICO, released a report about the Brexit vote and Cambridge Analytica. And this is, of course, the accusation was that Trump had worked with Bannon, and Bannon worked with these guys, and it's the billionaires, and they got all the information from Facebook, and they were able to rig the election, rig the Brexit vote, rig the vote. It's completely bogus, it's rigged. Well, the report came out, and they say, in fact, the title is, UK Information confirms Cambridge Analytica was storm in a teacup. We concluded that the SCLCA, that's the SCL Elections and its subsidiary Cambridge Analytica, were purchasing significant volumes of commercially available personal data, at one estimate over 130 billion data points. In the main, about millions of U.S. voters, to combine it with the Facebook-derived inside information they had obtained from an academic at Cambridge University, Dr. Alexander Kogan, and elsewhere. In the main, which is interesting, that's British, I guess, in the main, their models were also built from, quote, off-the-shelf analytical tools, and there was evidence that their own staff were concerned about some of the public statements the leadership of the company were making about their impact and influence. In other words, the data was commercially available and concerned U.S. voters. The only special sauce in Cambridge Analytical's model was the hyperbole of its salespeople. The Brexit angle turned out to be a complete red herring.
Yeah. Hello.
There you go.
I think we kind of implied this, but we didn't know any of the details.
And so now the report has come out.
They made a lot out of nothing.
Yeah.
They've got all this data. That's why Trump won.
Yeah. The Mercers, that's who they were, the billionaires.
That's a good one. I got one for you here.
Mm-hmm.
You know this guy, the guy who does focus groups, Frank Luntz or whatever his name is?
Who looks like he's lost 100 pounds.
Yeah, he's lost a lot of weight. He's looking a lot like, he looks like somebody else now. And he's got a beard because he can't shave because apparently when you get...
Oh, no, you can't do your hair, can't shave. No, then you're an asshole because you defied the lockdown.
So he did a focus group on and he's the one, if you remember, I'm going to go back to 2016, the first focus group on the first Trump debate, when it was the primaries. He was working for Fox at the time.
Right.
And he came out with with a bunch of bullshit that this guy was doomed, he was a loser, and he went on and on and on. And I've been suspicious of him ever since. Because the results didn't match what he was pushing, his agenda.
Right.
Well, there's a similar situation, I think, in a different way. Here's something this is the Frank Luntz focus on the last debate, and just listen to this.
CNN just put out, so I get tweets and headlines of stories, and they said that Kamala Harris put Mike Pence on the defense from the very opening.
What?
And that she set the tone for the debate. Do you guys agree with that? Is that a correct assessment? John from North Carolina, you're nodding your head no. In fact, everyone's nodding their head no.
Okay.
Did you catch the NLP?
Yeah. Let's hear it again at the end.
And that she set the tone for the debate. Do you guys agree with that? Is that a correct assessment? John from North Carolina, you're nodding your head no. In fact, everyone's nodding their head no.
Well, maybe
you shake your head no.
Yeah,
you nod your head yes.
Yeah, exactly. You shake no, nod yes. Wow.
So he says everyone's nodding their head no. That's neurolinguistic programming. He is trying to convey a bullcrap message, which confirms that, oh yeah, Kamala's kicking ass. When everyone in this group, and you can see it, they're all going, no, she wasn't. This is bullcrap. This is CNN crap.
Yeah.
And so he says they're all nodding their head.
Borderline, John, a borderline.
Nodding their head no.
Definitely.
Thank you, Frank. Very good. Nice try. Again, irresponsible journalism. But I'm sure nobody picked it up. Oh, they're nodding their head. I remember them nodding. All I remember is nodding their head.
So now we've been talking about stuff that has come up after years and years and years and years. This goes back to 2008. In 2008, and we were there for Barack Obama's election. We were all over the whole thing. It was fantastic. It was really the beginning of the show. And there was this guy named Larry Sinclair. And Larry Sinclair popped up on the scene, and he said, not that it mattered, but it does matter when you're a one-term, actually a state senator, and then you kind of zip up and all before you know it, you're president. Larry Sinclair was the guy who claimed that he had had sex with Barack Obama in a limo while smoking I think
crack.
No, yeah. I don't know if it was it crack. Could have been crack. And
he's smoking something that was illegal.
Now I thought the guy was dead. And listening to this clip, I understand why I thought he was dead. He's not. And this is a story that we've laughed about it years and years ago. But Dinesh D'Souza has come out. I have not seen the documentary. It's called Trump Card, the movie. And he finds Larry Sinclair and sits down with an interview. It's about 1:45, goes through the sequence with a massive kicker at the end, which is new.
The introduction was made through the limo driver. And what happened? We had a few drinks. I had made some comments about wanting Coke, so we got in the limo and left, and we started drinking. I started snorting. He started smoking. I actually put my hand on his knee and started to rub up his thigh, and I performed oral sex on Barack Obama. The following day, I actually get a knock on my hotel room door in Gurnee, Illinois, only to find Barack Obama standing in front of it. He had actually come back for seconds. I performed oral sex on him in the hotel room at the Comfort Inn and Suites in Gurnee, Illinois.
Were there drugs involved in the second night as well?
There was.
Who produced those?
He actually brought those with him.
Now, Obama at that time was a state senator?
I actually had no idea who he was.
And then when did you find out that it was Barack Obama?
Watching the 2004 DNC convention.
Thank you very much, everybody. God bless you. Thank you.
and it hit me. And at the time, I was just kind of floored.
Now, you have this press conference. After the press conference, you are arrested
by the D.C. Police Department upon the orders of Beau Biden, Attorney General for Delaware.
So this is Joe Biden's son, Beau Biden.
Can you believe that? I never knew that part of the story.
Wow.
It's a little bit more on it.
It is. Apparently, he had a grand jury indictment from 2 weeks after I went public on Obama accusing me of theft that never took place.
Shortly before you made these public allegations about Obama, you were contacted, you say, by a man named Donald Young.
Donald Young was the choir director in Jeremiah Wright's church in Chicago.
This is the church Obama attended.
Exactly.
And what did Donald Young tell you?
That he, too, had intimate relations with Barack Obama and had for years, and that I needed to protect myself, that they were going to come after me.
What happened to him?
He was shot point blank in his apartment in Chicago.
The murder was never solved?
No, it wasn't.
Don't eat me, Bo Jordan. You're scary. So scary.
Takes on a whole new content. Whoa, podcaster down. Podcaster down. You okay? You okay?
It's not me, it's the mic. Tighten this baby up.
Yeah,
okay,
let me tighten mine up for a second.
What happened?
There we go.
Where did this guy go? Did he get shot in the face?
What do you mean? Oh, he's been hiding, I guess. I thought he was.
Was it brought out where what he did?
I have not.
I would have split town too, but where and how?
I don't know. I have not seen the movie, and none of this really interests me. But you throw in the Beau Biden. Holy crap! That's interesting.
Yeah, that does bring it around.
Nah, man, this is so much incestuous crap.
Was this Beau Biden arrest? Was this before or after Barack got the presidency?
Oh no, this was the arrest. Oh no, I don't know. I just don't know.
If it was before, then that could explain how Joe Biden got the VP job.
I think it's before. It would make sense that it's before because. I think he saw the 2004 keynote speech that Barry did. So it was probably before that. We'll find out. Someone will find out. I mean, I'm not like, wow, I really got to find out about this.
Everything Biden does has this kind of illicit aspect.
Yeah, really true.
I don't understand why people think he's going to be a great president.
Well,
and you're a banker. I mean, was he going to vote for him?
Yeah, oh yeah. He's voting against Trump. It was interesting. He said Trump is just dumb. Okay, I don't fight him on that stuff. I don't care. He knows I disagree with him. He said Trump is just dumb.
Oh, and Biden's a genius? Are you kidding me? He thinks Trump is dumb, so he's going to vote for Biden? That is unbelievable.
He's a banker, former banker.
Yeah, well, he's going to be a broke banker if he puts Biden in.
No, yeah, that actually is true. That's probably true.
So let's go, and I got one thing I want to get out of. I got a robocall. I've been getting these robocalls, you know.
Oh, no. They're at it again with you?
Yeah, but now I'm getting what Mimi's always bitched about this. I don't get these because I'm going through, some phone system that doesn't have it. They block all these. No. This one came in and ended up on the answering. Oh, this actually didn't go through my regular phone. This went to the Google phone, which is for my Google voicemail phone. And so they recorded the message, and here's what it sounds like.
I've
gotten one of these.
You got one of these?
Yeah, I have. It's really bizarre because it's like, wow, man, you got to fix your spam system because this is not a good message to me. This is not helping me. In fact,
it goes on for 32 seconds.
Wow. Huh. That's odd. I do have.
I've been getting some calls. I've got 2 or 3 of the Social Security calls recently.
Yeah.
And I unfortunately don't have a recorder going, so I can't. I'd record him and lead the guy on instead of just cussing at him and hanging up the phone or calling him a criminal. He should turn himself into the FBI. That's what I'd say to a lot of these guys. But Yeah, just was put on the machine.
Huh. I was going to see. I thought I had a recording of. I guess I don't. I thought I had a recording of one of those calls that I got somewhere. No. Guess I don't. Nancy Pelosi announced a commission, which she claims to be completely constitutional. And this is the 25th Amendment Commission.
This is not about President Trump.
No, we believe you for once.
Never.
We believe you, Nancy. This is obviously about President Biden.
He will face the judgment of the voters. But he shows the need for us to create a process for future presidents. Throughout America's history, our leaders have created and strengthened guardrails in the Constitution to ensure stability and continuity of government in times of crisis. The 25th Amendment creates a path for preserving stability if a president suffers a crippling physical or mental problem and is, quote, in the amendment, unable to discharge the powers and duties of his office and transfers his powers. Specifically,
I need to stop for a moment because I just like to I'd like to grab the actual text of the amendment just to make sure we've got it all right. Now, what she says here,
stability if a government in times of crisis. The 25th Amendment creates a path for preserving stability if a president suffers a crippling physical or mental problem and is, quote, in the amendment, unable to discharge the powers and duties of his office.
So she takes two sentences, strings them together, and kind of waffles through it. There is nothing about mentally or physically incapability of the president. The only thing is whenever the president transmits to the
why don't you read it?
Well, there's four sections, and it's worth it. In case of the section 1, in case of the removal of president from office or of his death or resignation, vice president becomes president. So we understand that's how that works. So if Bo Jiden is 25th Amendmented, then he's got to go. Section 2. Whenever there's a vacancy in the office of the vice president, the president shall nominate a vice president who shall take office upon confirmation. Section 3. Whenever the president transmits to the president pro tempore of the Senate and the Speaker of the House of Representatives his written declaration, he is unable to discharge the powers and duties of his office, and until he transmits to them a written declaration to the country, such powers and duties shall be discharged by the vice president as acting president. So the president could say, hey, I'm not good, you go ahead, or I'm going in for an operation. Now, Section 4. This is what Nancy Pelosi is basing this on. Whenever the vice president, Kamala, and a majority of either the principal officers of the executive departments or of such other body as Congress may by law provide, transmit to the president pro tempore of the Senate and the Speaker of the House of Representatives their written declaration that the president is unable to discharge the powers and duties of his office, the vice president shall immediately assume the powers and duties of the office as acting president. There is no mention whatsoever why. So all you need is the vice president, Kamala, to gin up a majority of either principal officers of the executive departments, so that would be State Department, Cabinet, or of such other body as Congress may by law provide. That's where it gets tricky. So
that's maybe what Nancy's working on.
Well, what she's doing is she's pre-setting it, so she'll already have the majority. Yeah. That's why she says these kinds of people will be on it. He's done immediately.
If Biden wins, they'll have the majority.
And transfers his powers. Specifically, Section 4 of the amendment empowers Congress to set up an independent body to confront such a crisis. Congress has a constitutional duty to lay out the process by which a president's incapacity and the president of any party is determined. This bill honors the duty by creating a standing commission of top former executive officials and medical experts selected in a bipartisan, bicameral way. a president's fitness for office must be determined by science and facts.
Now, it's not, there's still a process, but this is what this standing commission is for. So after the vice president makes this move with this majority of cabinet or of, I guess, either house, thereafter, the president transmits to the president pro tempore of the Senate and Speaker of the House of Representatives his written declaration that no inability exists. He shall resume the powers. So that would mean Joe would go, it's not true. And the duties of his office, unless the vice president and a majority of either the principal officers of the executive department or of such other body of Congress may provide by law, transmit within 4 days to the president of the Senate and the Speaker of the House of Representatives the written declaration the president is unable to discharge the powers and duties of his office. Thereupon, Congress shall decide the issue, assembling within 48 hours for that purpose, if not in session, if the Congress, within 21 days after receipt of the latter written declaration, or if Congress is not in session within 21 days after Congress is required to assemble, determines by 2/3 vote of the houses that the president, that the president is unable, is unable to discharge the powers and duties of his office. The vice president shall continue to discharge the same as acting president. Otherwise, the president shall resume the powers and duties of his office. But I think to accelerate anything, that's why. And it's kind of a chicken shit thing to do. You know, just set your panel up beforehand, so all you need to do is sneeze. But
so okay, let's look at this from from 20,000 feet. Kamala Harris is a California part of the system. She was brought in by Willie Brown to be a stooge for the powers that be, and includes Pelosi family, Newsom, and the rest.
Yeah.
And so she's California. She somehow shoehorned into this position that she was the worst performing candidate for president in all the primaries. She got like two electors or something stupid.
Right.
And Amy Klobuchar and others, included others, and Biden's stupid proclamation that he's only going to pick a woman, so it had to be just one of a couple. Even Gillibrand would be better than this one. But no, somehow they got this one in there. And so now she's basically president-elect.
Pretty much.
And they're going to have to ramrod this through and get 2/3 of both houses. Biden is going to have to be so shot. And I think the Republicans, by the way,
will agree.
No, they want Biden in as president. They don't want Kamala.
Oh, brother.
She's dangerous.
Okay.
They'd rather have Biden, somebody they can pick on.
Like Kamala's not pickable? Please.
Well,
but
I think they'd rather deal with Biden than her.
Everyone overestimates the power of the presidency.
There's that. I agree, but I don't think they're going to. Well, it would be kind of funny.
Well,
but they're pre-setting this whole thing. They're setting the stage so they can get another California president.
How nice in our life. In our life to go through 2 impeachments, because of course I was around for previous impeachments.
Yeah, we witnessed the Clinton impeachment.
Impeachment. We also witnessed the Nixon Watergate tapes, which is almost impeachment. And then a 25th Amendment. Oh my God! That's when we start writing
dynamite.
Our history book.
Yeah, the kids are going to. Oh, I wish the good old days with Grandpa. He witnessed all these crazy things. He was in the Civil War.
So what will the difference be between a continuation of the Trump presidency or the Biden presidency? The World Economic Forum, the douchebags from Davos, had another meeting. They call it the Great Reset. It's the Great Reset. The World Economic... Yeah, the douchebags from Davos. I should write that one down.
I think Davos douchebags is better.
Okay, I'm going to write it down, though. Davos douchebags. So they did another Zoom call, and they bring on... They bring in all their top dogs. And a part of the gang is Alessandra Galani. She is the senior editor at Reuters. So she's a journalist. Is an editor a journalist?
Generally, yeah.
Well, should she be even getting...
I mean, technically they're editors and they're not journalists because they're not doing any journalism. They're just editing. But most of the time they're also journalists.
Now, of course, she's completely entitled to her opinion, but should she be conveying that opinion in public? Is that done? Is that something you do as a senior editor?
Editors write the editorials, and that's an opinion piece usually, so yes.
Okay. Well, then let's listen to what she's thinking and how she feels about stuff and what happened here. Oh, crap. Did I just lose my...
Here we go. It's the whole thing's coming down. It's falling down. Podcasts are down.
Hold on a second. I don't have to reboot. Hopefully I can just start this thing up again.
Set another edit point.
I did. It was some kind of, I think
There goes the record.
What do you mean the record? The record is when the show's over, dude.
Dude.
How can you even say that?
How can you even say dude?
Well, I'm younger.
All right.
Hold on. Almost got it. We'll do it live! Okay, no agenda. Show notes 2020, 10. Okay.
I should mention to people while you're doing that it's extremely rare that we edit the show at all because it chews up time at the end of the show and we both want to go do something else.
so sick of
the tape.
So sick of talking to each other. It's like, oh, God.
Live the tape.
Live the tape. All right. This is back up. And now what the hell was I talking about? What was I going to play for you?
I don't know. Something about the Reuters person.
The World Economic
She had an editorial point.
Here we go. Okay. Let me just make sure. Okay. Here we go. So here she is, the senior editor of Reuters, and her waxing poetic about the U.S. elections.
Between now and November 3rd, God knows what can happen. And many things can happen, related to the health of the president, of his challenger. And I think that's important not just because of headlines. That's important because the key thing ahead of this U.S. election is the integrity of the election itself and the questions over whether the election will be fair and later whether it has been conducted fairly. And that not only could upend the vote itself, but more crucially, depending on the counting of ballots, everyone is now prepared, possibly not to have a result by the evening, but the uncertainty could continue to erode public trust in institutions and the very democratic running of the United States. And that's even without considering possible violence in the streets. And so that means that even if there ends up being a transition of power to a new administration, the first thing that any new president would have to do is try to heal the nation.
Oh, heal the nation. Okay. So that's how she's thinking. Just it's important to know that she's expecting violence in the streets, meaning, I guess, that Trump will win. Otherwise, why would anyone be violent? And then a topic that was not discussed in the past 8, 9, 10, 12 years is China. But now, all of a sudden, we have an opinion on China and the difference with the Chinese relationship with the U.S. with Trump, and, of course, the difference with Bo Biden.
Whether you're going to have Biden or Trump in the White House come January, the U.S. is not going to relent on China, and China knows that. And, Biden's advisors have all produced very tough analyses on China, on military buildup, human rights, espionage, trade. Now, there will be a difference, and the discontinuity, if you will be more an approach, so that under Biden, you could have, things that are more predictable, more orderly, maybe more traditionally diplomatic.
Same old.
Maybe Washington trying to engage Beijing with carrots and sticks, not with just sticks.
Because it works so well.
All sticks, which is Trump and especially Pompeo. For all of the administration's belligerent approach towards China, it hasn't actually achieved very much in terms of challenging or changing Beijing's behavior, but it has encouraged a more defiant nationalistic stance. Whereas I think Biden would be less reckless, maybe more strategic, and would engage on issues of mutual concern like climate. And then ultimately also, and importantly, would be much tougher on human rights, which China hates to be lectured on. And Biden would be better at building coalitions.
I mean, when they talk about a reset, they really mean it. Let's reset back to Obama when we just loved the Chi-Coms and we did whatever they wanted and we bowed to them.
We joined the Paris Accord again and
that's
give
the
them
reset.
more money.
That's the reset.
Also, I think Biden would probably run a tighter ship so that China's not left wondering, which is the real, who has the upper hand here. And I think there is a school of thought that China likes this sort of transactional nature of Trump, and that Trump is so destructive of America's position in the world that ultimately it will help China. It will be to its benefit. But we get a sense, at least our bureau in China, that you get a sense that they're exhausted and actually they're rooting for a reset.
Yeah, everyone wants the reset. So the Chinese want the reset.
Well, I think we've established that Reuters is now a puppet of the Chinese.
Yes.
CCP. There's also, and I want to mention this before I forget about it, which is I don't have the clips, but Deutsche Welle was doing a thing called the Great Reset. They are so in the pocket of China. Deutsche Welle is completely out of control. There's a woman on there that was giving an analysis about COVID, and she literally said, and that COVID and Trump was all his fault.
Of course.
COVID came from Europe.
Oh, yeah, that's what de Blasio says, and Cuomo. It came from Europe. Yeah, of course it didn't come from
Europe. It came from northern Italy, from the Chinese that went to the northern part of Italy and infected everybody in northern Italy. And then they came over through the back door. And then she said he cut off the air travel from China, but he did nothing about Europe, where the virus came from. This woman said this straight up. Nobody questioned her. That's bullcrap. He cut off the airline flight from Europe, too.
My daughter still can't visit me.
Yeah. So what are they talking about? These are lies.
Here is the president with 30 seconds about China.
This is something that came to us out of, I don't know, I won't be able to tell you yet. Maybe at some point I'll be able to report exactly why it came to us, but it came out of China. It shouldn't have happened. They should have never let it happen. But they suffered plenty also, far more than people understand. But this is something that should not have been allowed to, they should not have allowed this to come out to the world, not only to the United States, to the world. But I have such respect for the people that have suffered, and my sympathies to those families that have been so horribly hurt.
So back to the World Economic Forum, the Davos douches, the Davos douchebags, and this is Michael Froman. And Michael Froman, I think Trump fired him. He was the U.S. trade representative I think he stayed until the first. I think he got kicked out pretty quickly, 2017. So he got kicked out pretty quickly. And obviously, because he is a huge douche globalist, but he does come up with some interesting terms in this, which is worth listening to.
I want to see if I can bring Michael back in. And Michael, with all your trade experience, we're talking about breathing life back into global partnerships. Is there potentially a role for discussions on services and digital to help, if you like, breathe new life back into some of the organizations we've been talking about that have kind of dominated global governance and global discussion on these issues?
So this is about the digital economy, the way the New World Order, the globalists want it to go. It's worth listening to.
Or is that something that's going to stay off the table for the next 3 to 5 years?
Well, I think there must be, because we have a global trading system which really hasn't been updated to reflect the nature of the global economy. Services, the disciplines around services are much weaker than they are around the trading goods. And of course, the digital economy didn't exist really when the WTO was created. And so there's been a lot of good work originally in TPP and now in USMCA and some other agreements that have been negotiated to.
I thought it was interesting he's talking about TPP. Is that still on the table? I guess TPP never went away, the Trans-Pacific Partnership.
Well, I'm sure they probably is still on the table, because they hope Biden's going to get in and put it back in play.
To help bring digital economy issues into the mainstream of the trading system, but it's got to be a central part of what we do going forward if that system is going to be relevant. Gated globalization, I think that's a terrific phrase, because a lot of these issues will go around to, well, what rules around information, uses of data, protection of individual privacy, are countries comfortable with, and who are they willing to trust? Trust is absolutely going to be critical, and creating those networks of trust around strong principles protecting privacy are going to be absolutely critical, while at the same time allowing countries to come together and share information and be able to do the analytics that allow us to address a number of the outstanding common issues. So I think it's got to be a big focus on this, whether it's in the WTO itself or, and again, this phrase, limited purpose partnerships, whether it's in partnerships among countries willing to come together and sign on to some high standards in these areas will be absolutely critical.
Standards.
So as a part of gated globalization, of course we care about your privacy, but obviously we have to share data on you with our other globalist countries so we can all figure out, we can take the right decisions. It's going to be closing in on you.
You know what else they had that was interesting in there, which I caught because I knew about this going on. They've been trying to do this since day one. They can't quite get there. And that's what he bitched about, the very first part of this clip. He said, we have all the structures and everything in place for trade of goods.
Yep.
But not services.
That's right.
And the United States is, supposedly evolved into a service economy. And now they want to take that away. Now, they can't do it with and we're not talking about a waiter.
No.
Although they'd like to do that, too, with these robotized restaurants where you can tell the robot to make a burger and they'll do it. That's one in San Francisco.
Yeah.
It's more about back office stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of offices in this country. Just look at the giant high rises. They have been trying to outsource office work for as long as we've been doing this show. And it's been it's called the business taxonomy. They believe they can algorithmize the entire functioning of an office and take the mechanism of an office and move it to India.
And put it on a floppy.
Put it on a floppy, move it to India, and just set up shop in India as though they were still here in the Manhattan office building.
Right.
And that's what they want to do. And if these people, commercial real estate is under attack because this is what's going to suffer the most, besides the fact that office workers are going to be screwed.
Yeah.
But they can't do it. It's too hard.
Final short clip, just because it's one of our favorite flubs. I usually say it on purpose. This is the MasterCard guy. For some reason, the MasterCard guy, what's his name? Borg Brend. He's the CEO of MasterCard, which is a big company, very important, especially for the unbanked. And so he's in there, and he makes a classic mistake.
The session is really also about the power of partnership, and MasterCard has teamed up with Melinda and Bill Gates Foundation.
I love it when someone says Belinda Gates. This is the funniest thing. I love that. Belinda Gates. Hey, alert the affiliates. We're running long.
I'm going to show my support by donating to No Agenda. Imagine all the people who could do that. Oh yeah, that'd be fab. Yeah, on No Agenda in the morning.
And indeed, we have a few people to thank for show, was it 1285?
Yes, that's the one.
Starting with, let's see, we got Craig Weinberg in Millbank, South Dakota. He's got a birthday coming up. $101.01. It's kind of that's the one guy who came in with the with the promotion.
It's
one
the guy.
He's the guy.
The guy.
We had a lot of people that just came with $10.10. They put it together themselves, but this is the $1. This is the 101.01 promotion, and this we got one guy. They don't all work out.
No, they don't.
Scott Porter, but I keep doing it every year. I do the 10-10 day every year. Scott, mainly because 10-10 Day is a Republic of China initiative, and it's been quashed by the CCP. Scott Porter, Frisco, Texas, $100. Rob Van Dyke in the Netherlands, $100. Thank you, Rob. Philip Sherhart, I'm guessing, in Murrieta, California. This is a 9009, which is calls it the Perky Boobs donation on a very sexy wife, Chloe.
Nice, with perkies.
She's got a birthday coming up.
33.
Ilan Hamburg, 90. You give him a de-douching.
Okay.
You've been de-douched.
Elon is coming to Vegas.
From Hamburg.
That'd be fantastic.
Oh, it says Hamburg, U.S. I don't know how that works. No, that's his name, Hamburg. What am I thinking? Ty Robinson from Queen Creek, Arizona, 8888. Go podcasting. Aisa McCorkle in Bullfrog, Utah, 8008. Dude, that's boobs.
Boobs.
Joseph Tish, Pauline, South Carolina, 8008. Gummy Nerds, Viscount of the Troll Room. Is he really the Viscount of the Troll Room?
I believe so. No, Gummy Nerds is
6969.
Gummy Nerds is always in the Troll Room.
Maurice de Haas in Den Haag, The Hague, Netherlands, 60.
Second donation this year with the same donation to the TPO podcast. That's Sir Rod in the Netherlands. Thank you very much, Maurice.
Bart Burtons in Best,
also in the Netherlands. Knighthood level achievement unlocked due to low-level subscription of 2020. Multiple attempts to get your attention were made to no avail. I hope this works. Please see mail for accounting. Please grant me the title Sir Bart, Black Knight of the Green Forest.
He doesn't get a Black Knight.
Well, I'm not in charge of the back office, but I think if we mentioned him and then didn't knight him, that's how you get a Black Knight, not because his emails didn't come through.
Is he listed as a Black Knight?
Let me see.
He wants to be Black Bart. It's pretty obvious.
Do I even see him on the list? Let me see.
Doesn't sound like right color.
No, it's Sir Bart, Knight of the Green Forest. The back office has not determined your blackness, sir.
Sir Dan Whitechick in Fort Myers, Florida, 5510. Daniel Booth. Soot Pete. Daniel Booth, 5510. Dawn Field, 5150 from Syracuse, New York. Another birthday for Sir Jeff Knight of the Five Seasons in Mount Shasta, California. Nice area. The following people are, and Sir Dan has got a birthday coming up too for someone. The following people are name and location, $50 donors, starting with Ogallala Aquifer in Liberal, Kansas, Casey Gray in Grand Prairie, Texas, Drew Mochak, Sir Drew, I believe, and by now, Mountain View, California, Paul Dubois in Kirkhunkston, New York. I'm sure I pronounced that wrong. Stephen Schumacher, Xenia, Ohio, Jesse Hall in Friendswood, Texas, Craig Zarzicki in Saratoga Springs, New York. Sarah Gordon in Tucson, Arizona. Clayton Dunavant in Greenfield, Wisconsin. A lot of 50s today. Thank you. Sir Lineman of the Net in Anna, Illinois. Michael Hayner in Paris, California with an E. Sir Dame Kimberly Redmond in Toronto. Robert Deckany in Fairfax, another night. Rawson Touchkoff in London, UK. Sir Christopher Kessler in Marshfield, Wisconsin. And last but not least, Bart Hendricks in Herten, which I'm not pronouncing correctly, Netherlands.
Who says the only way to follow the U.S. election is via no agenda. The Dutch media is completely biased and only copies New York Times and Washington Post crap. Greetings from the Dutch mountains, they're small, but they got them in Limburg in the south.
Limburg. That concludes our list of producers for show 1285. I want to thank each and every one of them and people who gave lesser amounts for helping us keep the show going at a torrid pace.
Yes, and a couple of the notes, Daniel Booth, for example, will all be in Vegas. We'll talk about that in just a minute because the meetup is going crazy. Thank you all for supporting the No Agenda Show. After all, it is you who is producing it. Time, talent, treasure, all of that comes together twice a week on the first Thursday and the second Thursday of the week. Really appreciate, as John said, also people who come in under 50 for reasons of anonymity, or if you're on one of our many programs, which is sustaining donations, and you see a $20.20, I think, a month, a week, a show. I don't know. We'll have to figure out how long, but that can bring you to knighthood, and we'll be bringing some people to the round table. But first, for anyone who needs it,
jobs, 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 and jobs. Let's vote for jobs. You thought karma.
Remember, you can go to
Dvorak.org/NA. It's your birthday. Oh, no agenda.
We are well into the second week of October the 11th. Here is the birthday list. Sir Dodger of the Panhandle says happy birthday to his smoking hot wife, Misty. She turns 45 on the 18th. Marcia Cappy, happy birthday to her husband, Stephen Cilio, 66 on the 18th. Cody and Sherry Wermiger say happy birthday to the amazing father and husband, Eric Wermiger, who turned 59 yesterday. Craig Weinberg, 41 on October 7th. Philip Cheerhart, happy birthday to his very sexy, perky wife, Chloe. She turns 33 today. Sir Dan Whitecheck, happy birthday to his daughters, Adeline and Catherine, and their smoking hot mom, Jackie. Must be a beautiful family. Sir Jeff, happy birthday to his father, John Williams. Ladybug says happy birthday to her best friend and partner in crime, Brad. And finally, Jacob Long, happy birthday to Laura Renegade on her 34th birthday today. Happy birthday from everybody here at the best podcast in the universe. Show. And no title changes, but we do have a 1, a 2, a 3. We got 3 knights, we got 1 dame, and that means we need a Dame Blade, which I have here.
There you go. There you go.
Beautiful. Up on the podium, Misty Gaskill, Rusty and Cleveland, Bart Bertens, Andre Adams, and Daniel Mariano. Lady and gentlemen, all of you have supported the No Agenda Show in the amount of $1,000 or more. That means you get an official title here and a seat at the No Agenda round table of our knights and dames. And I'm very proud to pronounce thee as Dame Misty of New England, Sir Twin Screw, Knight of the Master of Chief Mess, Sir Bart, Knight of the Green Forest, Sir Real ID of the Nashville Nether Regions, and Sir Daniel Mariano. For you, we've got Hookers and Blow, Rent Boys, and Chardonnay. Adding to that, Dunkle and Potato Pancakes, Brisket and Blue Dream, and, of course, Mutton and Mead. Skip the ginger ale and gerbils today. Head over to noagendanation.com/rings. Eric the Shoe will take your info, get that to you as soon as possible, along with your sealing wax for the ring and your official certificate. And thank you for sponsoring and promoting and being a part of the grand experiment known as the No Agenda Show.
No agenda.
Whoa, 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 like a party. The No Agenda Meetups, I have to say this, noagendameetups.com. And you need to make sure you go to noagendameetups.com with an S. Someone has, I'm not sure how this happened, but someone registered No Agenda Meetup, singular, .com, and it's a huge virus site. And do not visit that on your phone, that's for sure. You'll have to reboot your phone. One of those deals where it takes over the browser and you can't get out of it. It's really annoying. So I just want to remind everybody, noagendameetups.com. For Vegas, head count now, straight in from the back office, 75 people. That is the RSVPs. I'm super excited about this. We had a meetup in Nashville, and this is from Surveillance. Not sure if Rich will update you, but we had 10-ish woke producers meeting up at the best dive bar in Nash Vegas. We had a brief brush with eviction as the bar manager showed concern that a, quote, political action group was meeting at the venue, until we reassured her we were more of a political inaction group and social club. Our planned recording for you was thwarted by the introduction of karaoke midway through our meeting, so we abandoned our greeting in favor of regaling the non-No Agenda crowd with Grand Funk, Railroad, and the Backstreet Boys. Alas, they did not have a karaoke version of I Got Ants on Hand. We'll reconvene in 4 to 5 weeks. Thank you. And then we also have a report from the Southern Illinoisians.
Hi, this is Baronet and Black Knight, Sir Lyman of the Net, Raleigh Hawk at St. Nick's in DuQuoin for our Southern Illinois meeting. I am here with my smoking hot wife, Robin, who does not want to talk, and my beautiful daughter, who is no man is good enough to date in my eyes, Maddie. They do not want to talk, so I'm going to pass it on to Pastor Joey.
Hey, this is Joey Hawkins, executive producer of the No Agenda Show, episode 1280. No longer a douchebag. Thank you guys for all that you do, and thank you for the amygdala health. I am here with my smolderingly sultry wife, Michelle.
This is Steve Still. I am still a douchebag, but I'm here with my smoking hot wife, Faith, and having a great time in DuQuoin.
I'm Faith.
Yeah, so this is Raleigh again, and admittedly, I am at a table full of douchebaggery. But before I go, I want to say this is Pastor Appreciation Month, and this Sunday is Clergy Appreciation Day. So I want to say thank you to Pastor Joey for changing my life and coming in to work at our church. We love him and we appreciate him. So all you other douchebags out there, we thank you for listening, and we hope you join one of these meetups as well.
That's right. The big Vegas meetup, 75 confirmed. It's going to be a party. Here's what's on the calendar for Monday. Denver City Park sit-in at 6 o'clock. Bring a chair. Meet at City Park, Denver Museum of Nature and Science. Then we have October 13th. That is, of course, Tuesday. That is the big Las Vegas meetup. The Shill's going to be there. The Keeper and I will be there. Sir Patrick Coble, Dame Angela, and a cast of thousands, or at least 75. Then we have, so we jump straight to October 17th, Saturday, Smokin' Hot, Springfield, Missouri. That's their third meetup at the Tide Timber Beer Company at 2 o'clock Central Time. And also next Saturday, Winston-Salem, North Carolina, meetup at 2 o'clock at the Jugheads on Country Club Road. Brand new for next Sunday, the 18th, the Austin No Agenda Liberty Barbecue meetup at 1 o'clock Central Time. Okay, you're doing that during the show. That's very interesting. That's going to be at Scotter's house. And there is information on how to obtain that address at noagendameetups.com. And for October, there's a new one that I wanted to mention, the 22nd in Norristown, Pennsylvania, Jonamo Debate Watch Party. Ah, yes, a debate watch party, of course. That's what you want. Find out more about the meetups near you. If you can't find one near you, all you have to do is start one. It's that easy. NoAgendaMeetups.com. Make it just like a party.
Sometimes you want to go hang out with all the nights and days. You want to be where you won't be. Trouble don't feel the same. You want to be where everybody feels the same. It's like a party.
It's just like a party. Hey, what was our end of show ISO that we're going to do again?
Oh, I crossed stuff off.
Was it scary? Was it
No.
It's scary.
No, it wasn't that.
No, it's
Thank God.
Thank God it's over.
No.
That's it. Yeah.
Is that
was it. Thanks God it's over.
Thank God it's over.
Yeah.
I thought it was iconic.
No, you didn't like iconic. Iconic's good, but you didn't like it.
Okay, so it's scary. We're doing scary.
No, not scary.
We're doing
Thank
over.
God
Thank God it's over. Okay. I'm sorry.
Sorry, Biden.
Hey, man. Look, man.
I do have some international news I want to get out of the way.
Yeah, let's do that and then get out of the way.
Let's do the Armenia update with the Azerbaijan action.
Yes. This is good.
From PBS.
Yeah.
After nearly 2 weeks of intense fighting for control of the ethnic Armenian enclave of Nagorno-Karabakh, the former Soviet republics of Azerbaijan and Armenia agreed to a limited ceasefire early today. The conflict has claimed the lives of hundreds of soldiers and dozens of civilians. Special correspondent Simon Ostrovsky is in the rebel region and brings us an update. He's been reporting with support from the Pulitzer Center.
The foreign ministers of Armenia and Azerbaijan met in Moscow overnight to hammer out a ceasefire, which came into effect earlier today at noon. Up until the noon deadline, hostilities continued. You could hear sirens here in Shushi and in the capital of the self-declared Nagorno-Karabakh Republic, Stepanakert. Ever since noon, it seems like that ceasefire has been holding.
However, along the front line where we don't have access, the defense ministries of both countries claim fighting continues. Nevertheless, the ceasefire is a respite for those in urban areas. We've seen ordinary residents come back out into the streets after spending over a week in bomb shelters.
Just yesterday, this church in Shushi was struck twice by rocket or by shelling, and we're told that 4 or 5 people were injured here, one of them a journalist who was injured seriously. I'm holding in my hands pieces of the weapon that destroyed this building partially.
What's interesting is that in California, Armenians are protesting and they're pissed off, and that's Schiff's district. And
I know.
And now the Armenians are Armenians for Trump.
Yeah.
Which could hurt. I mean, even Schiff could get ousted. I don't know if there's anyone running against him, but yeah.
They have a machine there. This is the machine that keeps you in office. It's not really any support from the public. Here's a North Korea update.
Gee, we haven't heard much from North Korea at all lately.
North Korean leader Kim Jong-un presented what appeared to be new intercontinental ballistic missiles at a military parade celebrating the 75th anniversary of the country's ruling party. The North Korean leader warned on state television that his country will, quote, fully mobilize its nuclear arsenal as a defensive measure. He did not name any countries as targets. Analysts say the new missile shown on an 11-axle transporter vehicle is bigger than any seen before in North Korea and could be one of the world's largest road-mobile liquid-fueled missiles if it becomes operational. President Trump last met with Kim Jong-un in June of 2019 at the demilitarized zone between North and South Korea. Envoys for the two countries have met since then, but there have not been any new denuclearization talks between President Trump and Kim Jong-un.
And what happened to he's dead, his sister is now in charge? Same news outlets were saying that a couple months ago.
They didn't even bring it up.
No, of course not. Oh, Trump missile. Trump
missile.
Tiring.
Trump could have done more than he did.
You get one more, and then we're going to go. If you don't have it.
Well, I got a combination. You got a Turkey-Armenia weirdness clip from Democracy Now! Or the Turkey. Actually, what I would do is just do these as one long clip. It's only 41 seconds and 11. Play Turkey-Armenia weirdness and drop Turkey-Syria right at the end of it.
A group of Senate Democrats are urging the State Department to halt military aid to Azerbaijan, blaming the nation for instigating the ongoing fight.
I like Azerbaijan.
With its neighbor, aid to Azerbaijan, blaming the nation for instigating the ongoing fighting with its neighbor Armenia over the disputed territory of Nagorno-Karabakh. The U.S. lawmakers are also calling for freezing arms sales to Turkey, which is backing Azerbaijan. Earlier today, Iranian President Hassan Rouhani warned the conflict could turn into a regional war. Armenia's president criticized Turkey and Azerbaijan, saying, quote, "To me, there is no doubt that this is a policy of continuing the Armenian genocide and a policy of reinstating the Turkish Empire," unquote. In news from Syria, at least 18 people died Tuesday in a truck bomb explosion in the former Islamic State stronghold of Al-Bab in the northwest Syria. The town is now under the control of Turkey.
And you're up to speed on stuff no one cares about. Except if Turkey, Armenia, or in Gitmo Nation. Exactly.
We care.
Amy's the only one doing these reports. I'll give her that. No one else is doing that.
Yes, she actually still reads these reports.
Up next on NoAgendaStream.com, if you're listening live, Grumpy Old Ben's. I think it's like episode 100 or something. It's huge.
Woo!
Yeah.
Congratulations.
End of show. Chris Wilson did another 3-minute, so that's going to have to go to the next show. But we do have end of show mixes. There's some good ones today. We've got Mr. M. We've got Freddie Got Fingers. We got Brian Rudder. And we got Jesse Coy Nelson. All on deck. Good stuff. Coming to you from Opportunity Zone 33 here in the capital of the Drone Star State, Austin, Texas, FEMA region number 6 in the governmental maps, in case you're looking for it. In the morning, everybody, I'm Adam Curry.
And from northern Silicon Valley, where everything looks pretty normal, except everyone's broke. I'm John C. Dvorak.
We return on Sunday, and of course, if you're going to be in Vegas, we'll see you on Tuesday. Remember us at Dvorak.org/NA, and bring your dirty envelopes. Until Thursday, adios, mofos, and such.
I'm speaking. Yes, Vice President speaking. I'm speaking. Yes, Vice President speaking. I'm speaking. Yeah, I'm about to. I'm so glad we went through a little history lesson. Let's do that a little more. Yeah, I'm about to. I'm so glad we went through a little history lesson. Let's do that a little more. Yeah, I'm about to. Fighting. Thank you. But we always must fight. Fighting. Thank you. But we always must fight. So let's set the record straight. We always must condone violence. So let's set the record straight. We always must condone violence. So let's set the record straight. We always must condone violence. Fighting. Thank you. 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 I'm sorry, Vice President Pence. Thank you, Vice President Pence. Vice President people deserve. Vice President people deserve. I didn't. Vice President Pence, I did not. Yes, Vice President speaking. I'm speaking. 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 I'm speaking. Not one is black.
Come on, man. You ain't black.
Not one is black.
Come on, man. You ain't black.
Not one is black.
Come on, man. You ain't black.
Not one is black.
Come on, you ain't black.
Not one is black.
Come on, man. You ain't black.
Not one is black.
Come on, man. You ain't black.
Not one is black.
Come on, man. You ain't black.
Not one is black.
Come on, man. They're coming to get you, Barbara.
If you have a pre-existing condition, they're coming for you.
Stop it now. I mean it.
They're coming for you, Barbara.
If you love someone who has a pre-existing condition,
Thank
they're
you, Senator
coming for
Harris.
you.
Stop it. You're ignorant.
If you are under the age of 26 on your parents' coverage, they're coming for you.
Stop it. You're acting like a child.
They're coming for you.
They're coming for you.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
They're coming for you.
Stop it. You're ignorant.
If you have a pre-existing condition, they're coming for you. If you love someone who has a pre-existing condition, they're coming for you. If you are under the age of 26 on your parents' coverage, they're coming for you.
Stop it. You're ignorant.
They're coming for you.
Stop it. You're acting like a child.
Coming to get you, Barbara.
They're coming for you.
Dvorak.org/NA.
Thank God it's over.
No.
Agenda.
In the morning?
It is the best podcast in the universe. The value. Value.
Model.
Enabling. Stunning. News. Analysis.
Without
integrity. Compromising. Advertisers.
For more than
11 years. Listen live on Thursday
and Sunday.
No. I need to respond. I need to respond.
Hello and welcome to episode number 100 of Grumpy Old Ben's for Friday, October 9th, 2020. I am Darren O'Neill coming to you live from a bunker deep in the heart of Middle America, just outside of Chirac, where we're loading up on food and ammo and getting ready for the Biden apocalypse.
And from America's left coast, where we are being told to mask up in between bites of food, I'm Ryan Bemrose.
I saw that. It's like, how does that even work?
That, by the way, that is not shtick. Usually I write some sarcastic line or something. That is straight up what is happening. Gavin Newsom is just clowning the whole fucking state of California right now. With, his office went ahead and actually tweeted, I'll read it verbatim. Going out to eat with members of your household this weekend? Don't forget to keep your mask on in between bites. Are you fucking kidding me?
Well, you can't keep your mask on in between bites. It would be, you'd have to continually take your mask off and put it back on. And we know one thing, and that is the handling of masks is dangerous. So what they're
you think
asking,
he cares about what's dangerous. He really only cares about whether or not people are obedient.
And they have been in California, oddly enough. I mean, it's very strange that they've been kind of out of business since day one on this, where in the Chicago area here, I mean, my wife's been back to work. Restaurants are open, at least to a limited capacity. You can go back, the comic book store is open again. They're just limiting people going in. So overall, things are fairly, not normal, but there's at least movement in a bunch of different sectors. In California, they haven't had any.
Yeah, that's another thing California is never going to do. In fact, some of the counties were in danger of meeting the arbitrary bullshit requirements that they were putting in. In order to open up, you have to have so many new cases or less. And so Newsom actually recently moved the goalposts again. Now he's actually, it's kind of cathartic from a storytelling way. He's combining the two big stories all year. And that is, he is injecting racism into his COVID open up requirements. Because now cities and counties can no longer open up until the case rates in the, quote, most disadvantaged neighborhoods and, quote, disproportionately impacted populations are meeting new requirements.
Well, right, because it would be racist to not let the areas that are actually having the virus open up. You can't keep it makes sense now.
Exactly. The state is already divided down by counties, and each county is deciding whether or not they want to open up on their own. But now each county, you cannot open up the rural side of the county until that one neighborhood in the urban side of the county is still,
We must punish everybody until it is clear.
But I didn't come here to talk about California because fuck those guys. They're all the citizens of California. You're screwed. And like Dvorak said yesterday, to an extent, you kind of deserve this for voting in these authoritarian assholes. But
John C. Dvorak of the No Agenda program.
The thinking ones are leaving, and we know that. And as long as they leave and continue thinking, then we're probably still safe, and we'll get better people for it.
A big grumpy old Ben's welcome to douchebag Pat in the troll room, who said it's the first time he's ever listening to a live grumpy old Ben's. I mean, it may be the last. Usually,
you'll regret this decision.
Yeah, once you listen once, you people usually go screaming. But when we do these shows live at noon Eastern, you can find us at noagendastream.com, where you can hear the audio live. And there's a chat room where you can go in and have a little bit of fun with everybody else listening. Tell us when we're wrong. It's instant fact check time, and we dig it. But the episode 100, I know you didn't think we were going to make 50. So how are you feeling? Episode 100.
I'm angry.
You're angry? It's like, this is way more work than I thought.
Actually, it is. Oh my God. I did like 5 hours of research last night on this bullshit. There's too much stuff happening.
Well, and you now, I think, start looking at the news in a different way when you're a podcaster, especially when you're covering the kind of topics that we have. I mean, normally it was just going to be more tech based, but then the world went into a complete nosedive with COVID. And once all the tech stories became secondary, or what really became interesting, I think, to both of us was how tech was going to be used for both good and bad when it came down to medical reasons with the virus, and how quickly it was used in an authoritarian manner to track everybody, screw with your privacy, and, basically be Big Brother. It's a weird thing.
There hasn't been a technology invented yet that somebody hasn't decided that they want to abuse.
Well, that's true.
When the problem, and there's so many places where people are like, I can't believe that people are doing this, the technology, when ban the technology. And the problem is never the technology. The problem isn't guns. The problem isn't it isn't all these things. It's the people behind them. If we weren't constantly putting people in power who are going to seize on everything they encounter and abuse it, then we wouldn't be fearing the technology. I would love to be able to have a device in my house that I can talk to and it gets me whatever I want. I mean, I kind of have one, but right now she's glaring at me.
So, I want to know, do you have one of the Comcast remote controls in your house?
I think so. I am pretty sure the battery's dead.
Well, that's good.
But I did hear that story.
That is good. I mean, I covered it.
I heard it on Random Thoughts, I believe.
Yes, I covered it there, but I wanted your kind of thoughts on this. I mean, I knew it was a grumpy old Ben's topic, but it was way too good not to talk about, especially the name. I loved even the name, the Where's the Remote, I think was what they were calling this exploit. And for those of you who have one of these Xfinity/Comcast remote controls, you know the one I'm talking about. There's a little button on it where, for those who don't want to type, and I understand it, because trying to type text,
typing on that little 9-button pad is awful.
Yes. So I get it.
There's over 100 fucking buttons on this thing. Why can't I just have a full keyboard? What is this 9-pad thing?
I don't know, but this is why people want to be able to push the button and just go friends. And then hopefully it finds friends on your DVR or when it's on or whatever it does.
Oh yeah, this one's got that.
But these devices, this is what I thought was interesting, from the manner of, even if people, the grumpy old Ben's experts of the experts, even if you wanted to be almost completely off the grid, let's just say you didn't even have a cell phone. Let's say, of course, then you didn't have any of the talking tubes, none of the smart devices. You've never allowed one of these things into your home. but you have one of these Comcast remotes, you're still susceptible to have people listening in on what's going on.
One of the reasons I was happy with that particular remote was the idea that, in theory, it's not listening to you unless you're holding the button.
Correct.
And that's at least better than, like, I walk into the back room and I say the wrong thing and fucking Cortana pops up on the screen. It's like, what can I do for you today? I didn't understand that. It's like, because I wasn't talking to you, bitch.
Yeah, I turned that off. That's the first thing I turn off on any Windows machine. I mean, that's the other problem.
It sure isn't on my Windows 8 machine, but I'm not allowed to say what machine it is on.
So you're pointing fingers at perhaps your spouse.
At the cat.
Or one of the cats. Okay.
Yes, totally.
The cats like Windows 10. I get it. But yeah, Cortana, I never really understood that on the desktop, but I know people use the machines for different things. So I'll give you a pass if you're using Cortana. But with these devices, you're right. The concept was you had to press a button for it to listen and then would take that audio and try to do whatever it is you wanted with it. And I was just really impressed with the fact that they were able to use very cheap hardware, which was just an RF transmitter, to push new firmware to the remote controls that allowed them to, it was once a minute. They were polling. So if you wanted to record what was going on, once every 60 seconds, the remote was basically going, hey, anybody want me to record anything? And if you said yes, it started it. And it would record for 10 minutes and then, I guess, transferred the information over to you. I mean, it was a very...
Who even wants that feature?
Hackers?
Well, yeah. I thought maybe it was a consumer feature or something.
No, I mean, it still is. They were talking about it like, well, it's still kind of the van in the front of your house thing because you had to be within... With the cheap gear, I think they said they were able to get it from like 65 feet, but they also said,
okay,
hey, with better
but
gear.
what about with the FBI gear?
Right. Well, either with
I had absolutely no idea that these remote controls even had an update mechanism. And frankly, it creeps me the hell out because I used to think, okay, this is just a device with buttons on it, like any remote control for the last 40 years. No, this is yet another attack vector.
Yes.
Why?
Well, as is the using of RF rather than the infrared. And I get why people want it, because that way your box can be hidden and you don't have to point the remote control directly at the unit to get it to work.
Updates should not be so often that you have to enable it over the fucking air. Hello, why? What happened to, I want to flash the firmware on this thing. Let me plug in an RS-232 cable.
Yes. I mean, the remotes out of the box only check once every 24 hours. But what the hackers found was that you could figure out when that request was, and then you could hijack that and upload whatever you wanted to. And then with that new firmware, that changed the way the device works. But I mean, that's the beauty of RF is also its biggest downfall. And not only does it have to be, the FBI gear, but I'm assuming you could have a battery operated, Raspberry Pi or something and hide it outside somebody's house. As long as that's close enough, you can make this.
Or with normal people, you have a transmitter in your pocket and you just get invited in because normal people in years that aren't 2020 have guests over.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, if you really wanted to bug somebody using their remote control, you could easily do
a smartphone app, and you've got an instant transmitter to everybody's pockets.
Yes. Well, and these apps now.
Ooh. Can you imagine infecting the phone of a delivery driver?
Well, there you go. You're moving around. Well, there's so much of this stuff with the apps now. We talked about at one point the amount of data that third-party apps were scraping off of your phone. And everybody, remember, I think exactly said, well, who cares if that company that's making the flashlight app gets access to whatever? Well, now it turns out the IRS has been buying data from some of these people. Who gets that? Was gonna,
didn't we cover that? Did I only talk to you about this? I thought we covered this on a story. It was purely hypothetical at the time, but we were talking about data brokers.
Yes,
which is what popped up in this story. But go on. What you were introducing?
Well, yeah, we talked about that on the show. Exactly this, because the concept was that with all of these permissions that people give all of these apps and don't think twice about it, you're like, well, why would I be afraid of them? Hey, I am giving this information to my insurance company so that way, I can get a lower rate. And I understand that. I do that myself, but I also understand they're getting data from my phone where I drive. Now, the reality
is
the
smart bends are the ones who are providing wrong data.
Yes. Well, you always lie. Yeah. If you can. I mean, that's the way to do it when it comes down to the digital world.
That's what the SDK is for.
But now that we have some verification, and this only took a few weeks, it seems like we just talked about this a few weeks ago, that the IRS is buying some of this data from these companies. This is the biggest end run when it comes to privacy. We've talked about this before, just in the guise of talking about things like, well, the CIA legally isn't supposed to spy on American citizens, but they have,
and any government agency is supposed to have a warrant before they pull this kind of sensitive data.
Right. But who can spy on the United States citizens? Well, let's just say British version of the CIA. So, our CIA guys, they know their CIA guys, so they pick up the phone and go, hey, can you tell us a little bit about this Bemrose guy? Now they don't even have to go to the other CIA type dudes. They just go to whoever made an app that's on your phone and like, we'd like some information.
I don't remember the British in this. Are we even talking about the same IRS scandal, or is there more than one?
No, this is all about data and where your data goes with apps. But I'm just saying, in the world before apps, if the government wanted to spy on their own citizens, quite often they would use a foreign government intelligence agency because that was legal for them to spy on American citizens. You know what I'm saying?
So I am. And so here's what happened at the IRS was the Criminal Investigation Division of the IRS. These are the guys with, these are the guys that investigate whether or not you're, not paying your fair share of government theft.
Right. They think you've done something wrong and they want to punish you.
Yeah. And they're the ones with the shotguns at the IRS. They admitted at a hearing back in June that they had purchased location data from a data broker named Ventel. Ventel is a government contractor that buys location data from apps, games, weather apps, e-commerce. I don't know if they do the big social media ones, but they will buy location data. So any app that you have given your location data just for no apparent reason, well, first of all, if it's like, well, you need to turn on your location. Well, first of all, you shouldn't. You should never give your location data to some stupid app. If it's not actually a GPS app at that, and you're looking at it at that very moment, it probably doesn't need your fucking location. But there's a lot of them that are like, oh, well, turn on location because we'll tell you about ads in your area or something.
The weather's the big one. The weather's the big one, which I always turn it off because I'm like, it's fine. I don't care what part of the Chicago area I'm in. Just use this zip code.
I don't want it tracking me. If I want the weather in Chicago, I will type in Chicago. If I want the weather in Seattle, I'll type in Seattle. I'm fine with it. Plus, I don't usually move so far that the weather changes. I can just be like, oh, always give me Seattle and it's fine. Because even if I'm down in Portland, it's the same fucking climate. But anyways, all of these apps, every one of them has permission to track your data, and whether or not the app needs your data for the purpose of doing the app things, it's recording it constantly. They record to databases in the back, and these app companies who are giving you usually free apps, what did you think their business model is? Yeah, they get money from ads, but they're double dipping. They are getting a hell of a lot of money from selling this data to data brokers, and they're not necessarily nefariously twirling their mustaches or anything, because it's not like they know what the data broker is going to do. Well, this particular data broker, Ventel, sold the data to the IRS, and that's their business model. They collect data from apps and they sell it to the government.
Completely legal.
Yeah, it's legal. And it is, like you said, a total end run around the requirement that the government has, or the government cannot surveil you without a warrant. So the CI was investigating a group of people, I don't know how many, and they wanted to use the location information that they bought from Ventel in order to determine where the people lived. That what they do is they would, look at where were the phones at night and use that as a proxy for where they lived to see if they were dodging taxes by being in the wrong place or something. And
well, I guess that's interesting because one of the big things with taxes would be where your permanent residence was. So if you're saying my permanent residence is here and you never go there, oops.
Yeah. Or if you're saying, my permanent residence is out of the country and yet every single night your phone is in, San Diego, some people are going to raise an eyebrow. So anyways, they were trying to out people who were lying to the IRS. And apparently the attempt failed. And that was the reason for the hearing. And the only reason the attempt failed was that the data that they bought did not include information on the group of people they were interested in. So at least the people who are dodging the IRS know well enough not to install these apps, I guess.
Yes. They're grumpy. If you're dodging the IRS, you're probably smart enough to be a grumpy old Ben's expert.
But Senators Warren and Wyden,
Senator Warren, I mean, there we go.
Yeah. And Wyden of Oregon, who is probably my favorite Democrat ever, because the dude absolutely cares about privacy and individual rights.
And all Senator Warren wants is to take all of your money away from you.
Well, I said Democrat.
Right. I'm sorry. I was being repetitive.
But they both looked at this during the hearing back in the day in June and said, well, that's very interesting, but are you sure this was legal to buy this database without a warrant and get all this information? Because, of course, the IRS still has the database, so they don't even have to buy it next time that they want to investigate people. They'll just start cross-referencing it. And so on the recommendation of the offices of Senators Wyden and Warren, the TIGTA, which is yet another government agency I'd never heard of, the Treasury Inspector General for Tax Administration, is apparently an auditing group for government agencies, and they are now investigating the IRS CI division for illegal use of databases.
Well, I guess the interesting question for me would be, when does it become public information? And because you're not really doing an investigation and looking into somebody if the information is public record. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference now between.
I don't think it's public. I think it's, it was collected by a private.
Yeah, but it was given up
sold
freely.
to another private company.
Right. It was given up freely, and that company
it was paid for.
Well, with the data. It's an interesting concept.
The money exchanged hands, and it was at no point was this data released publicly.
No, but I'm saying the data was given to these app companies freely by the people that had their data scraped, because they're like, yeah, sure, take everything. That's cool. So I'm not really sure.
It's still never been fully tested in a court whether or not I don't know that you can necessarily say that the data was given freely. I don't believe that every one of these apps had a confirmation dialogue says, click here to confirm that you are giving away freely, your exact location every minute of the day.
Well, I bet they did. They just didn't read it.
Well, they might have it in the terms of service,
right.
But I don't believe that has been tested well enough in the courts, whether or not that information is private or, it has been tested in the court a little bit, a Supreme Court case called Carpenter versus United States in 2018, where the Supreme Court, and this, by the way, is the basis for the investigation of the CI. The Supreme Court ruled that government agencies do in fact need a warrant to get cell phone location info. Now, that's not quite the same as information gathered by your GPS and apps.
Right.
This is the cell tower info. But in Carpenter versus United States, the Supreme Court slammed the door on police just pulling cell data from your cell provider willy-nilly and deciding to track you that way. Now the new standard is that if they're going to pull your cell data, they need a warrant. So that's the IRS didn't have a warrant for this particular investigation, which was why it was the question was, well, did it violate Carpenter?
Well, it's interesting, again, because the people that seemingly gave the data up to the companies, the app companies, they can freely give that data to the IRS. Now, it's just, it's going to be interesting to see how this all shakes down, because, my guess is that the legality, even though very scammy on this, is going to come out being, well, this was perfectly legal. People freely gave the information, so the IRS didn't do anything wrong. But this comes down to, again, everybody that has a cell phone should do an accounting of what apps they have,